Claro, claro. Total. Es el punto de la desventaja. Con los golpes en general, hay quien dice que los Superman Punch son efectivos y hay quien dice que no. Pero depende de que lo haga. Si le salió bien o no. Seguro, seguro. Es algo muy
Por la esquina roja. Tomás Octavo, el último combate preliminar de la noche. Patrocinado por Compresores Kaiser. En la esquina azul de Villavicencio, representando al Team Raza, con un peso de 155 libras en la categoría welter, con 22 años de edad, debutando de la academia Team Raza, Esteban Garzón. En la esquina roja de Medellin, con un peso de 155 libras en la categoría welter, 23 años de edad, debutando de la academia Zona de Combate,
Of support for the hometown hero, Tomas. We've got veteran referee Ruben Vila, third man inside the octagon. Esteban in the black shorts with the blue. Tomas with the gray shorts and the red tape. Alejandra, this one's going to deliver.
Yes, I think it's very exciting for all the teams in this city that there are a lot of people here with the
I think this is a very good possibility for them to show their skill sets. This is the last fight of the prelims. Let's see how it goes.
Tomas opening up with a big kick. Esteban returning with several of his own, each guy taking the center of the octagon. Neither wants to take a step back.
Yeah, we can see the wide position of Esteban that it's maybe from karate or, yeah, we can expect a lot of kicks maybe.
Tomas bringing through those super takedown gets reversed. Esteban with control. A lot of grappling here. Each guy evenly matched in terms of the strength. Some clinch knees from Tomas.
For a headlock.
Yeah.
And Tomas has got
very
a
aggressive
headlock.
in Tomas in the red gloves. But I don't think he's getting
He
this.
jumped to a guillotine. If he did that on a professional fight, he would get slammed. I don't think that was very bright, and now he's being punished.
A lot of ground and pound from Esteban here. Tomas looking for the leg though, Boom Peggy. Trying to go for a submission.
I think from that position, he's more in risk than in advantage.
I think he's in a very uncomfortable position. He's looking for an E-bar, but he's not very skilled on the ground. Let's see what Esteban can do from that position to prevent a possible attack.
A lot of those up kicks landing or bouncing off the guard of Esteban. Tomas utilizing all four limbs tonight. Esteban unsure whether he wants to engage on the ground or not, Alejandra.
He needs to get up and, yeah, to create a fight from that position.
We head back to the feet. Seems like the early going, Esteban the stronger fighter. The craftier fighter, though, would be Tomas. Tomas once again rushing in, tying each other up, over under position. Esteban locking his hands here with Peggy.
Let's see if he can get out of the cage. It's not a very comfortable position to be against a grappler with. He went for the suplex.
It worked at the end. Maybe not at
Got the job done, right? Now it's Esteban's turn to be off his back. Good job of maintaining control of his posture, though, Peggy.
He's trying to break the posture for him not to be punished, but now Tomas is getting a very chance at punishing. Now he's trying to get close as well. I don't know if he's a little tired. I don't think so. I think he just wants to keep control of that position.
Working with some fundamental ground and pound is Tomas. Body, head, back and forth on both sides. Alejandra looking good on the ground so far as Tomas.
Yeah, and Esteban, in my opinion, he needs to move more his hips because it's keeping in behind Tomas.
Absolutely. There's the bell for round number one. Closely contested. Each guy had some moments. You saw Esteban really hammering some ground and pound when Tomas was looking for the leg locks, but Tomas ending the round on top. Peggy, how do you score those first five?
I think it's a very close round. It depends on the judges' criteria, of course, because as you were saying before, both of the athletes had their time. I think Tomas was celebrating after the round because he ended up on top position, and ending a round on top position might be a very good thing on the judges' criteria.
I was a little bit confused because I was expecting like more striking strategy from Tomas, but then he looked like he wanted so much to go to the ground.
Yeah, a lot of kicks from him, both to the legs and the midsection before he shot in. And, you know, after about a minute of round number one, seemed like he was looking to grapple. Round number two is just about underway. Ruben gets us going. Tomas trying to rally the crowd.
Let's remember that Tomas is fighting locally. He's fighting at his home, so that's why the crowd is going crazy for him.
Round number two.
Tomas confident.
Takes the center. Oh, spinning attempt right there by Tomas Peggy. Doesn't land.
He missed. I think his guard is a little bit down. He's working on those kicks.
Yeah.
And he got the takedown again. He got a good takedown.
Yeah.
Interesting lock. Oh, bad news for Tomas.
Oh,
he went for the rear naked choke.
Tomas has it under the chin. Esteban taps. That is it. Wow. Round number two submission for the hometown hero, Tomas. Esteban unable to escape that submission, Peggy.
Beautiful transition because he looked the opportunity to go to the ground and then he capitalized that position.
It was a very tight choke. I've seen Esteban fight before. He was not a very good grappler. So I think he's got to improve his ground game. That was where he was lacking because he did a great job before on top positions. Rear naked choke for Tomas. Display of respect between both fighters.
Yeah, we see this is tough. For Esteban, he came from Villavicencio, that it's a different region from here, from Colombia, but they are traveling to get an opportunity.
Tomas representing his gym in a fantastic way tonight. Right, we expected a bit of striking, but it seemed like he knew something that we didn't in the grappling efficiency of Esteban. Interested to see where this young prospect goes from tonight. Once again, tonight's fights are brought to you by Burger King. If you're hungry for something to eat, then dine with the King at Burger King. We head inside for the official decision.
Ganador del octavo combate de la noche en el minuto 34 segundos del segundo round por sumisión mataleón, Tomas Gutiérrez.
He visto dos con la bombón y esta. He visto con la estelar de una de estas. ¿Cuál sigue?
Faltan estas. La coestelar y las faltan 9. Faltan todas estas para la coestelar.
Entonces, ¿por qué se me acercó? Me dijo que después de esta.
Pero, ¿cómo así después lo vas a intentar constelar y estelar?
Eso me dijo Héctor. No, obviamente no, pero me dijo porque presente la carrera y se mueve la carrera. Porque de hecho estas son las dos últimas. Esas son las dos últimas.
Por eso digo.
¿Cómo la que sigue por la mosca? Ciudad. Gracias. Gracias.
Debut profesional de Salomón y de los dos. No tiene récord. ¿Sí? Por si acaso. Oiga, esto es yo presentar esto. Los dos van a debutar.
Preparada, la estelar y la estelar. No las tengo. Pero ya, por eso, venga acá rápido.
Sí, está ahí en así no le cabe. Acuérdense que Dios no es un récord.
Sí, este es el debut. Debut, haga uno por uno. ¿Este buscan? Debut profesional. No. Primero de tamaño. No, tres tamaños. Ah, ok, ahí decía tirar debut profesional. Mire. Go. You have it, Where's the map No, it's Salomón y Victor.
Primero Salomón.
I know that.
En contados minutos viviremos aquí en Empire. Combates profesionales para todos ustedes. Con una gran carrera. Así que pueden disfrutar de los stands que tenemos acá en este espectacular lugar. Pueden ir al baño, pueden participar en lanzamiento de hachas, consumir la cerveza, los chocolates, todo lo que está dispuesto en los stands precisamente programados para todos ustedes. Recuerden que tenemos lectura del tarot, tenemos flash tattoo, todo esto es un gran evento diseñado para que todos ustedes pasen una tarde y una noche espectacular. Gratitud a todo nuestro público presente, a todo nuestro público que ya nos verá a través de la señal de Empire, para toda la gente y patrocinadores que hacen que esto sea posible.
¿Qué más se le pone más nada? Ahí está. Víctor Torres. Víctor, así, escribe como suena. Torres. Víctor Toro.
No te digo.
Ese es el amateur debut.
Y Salomón, bórrelo de amateur.
Bueno, en 5 minutos daremos inicio a esta gran cartelera, así que le pedimos a todos los peleadores que se preparen. Tendremos en el combate número 1 a Litter Hanstor de la Academia MMA Colombia y a Salomón Tavares de la Academia Zona de Combate. Así que se preparen, espero que la estén calentando. Y también en este calentamiento, José Alejandro Correa de la Academia MMA Colombia y Hernán Rodríguez del Club Equipo Serrano. Segundo combate. Tercer combate de la noche, un combate femenino, Michelle Casamayor, la Barbie del MMA de la Academia MMA Colombia, contra Puños Libertarios, Lara Acosta. El cuarto combate principal, Francisco Hernández contra Rafael. El quinto combate, Juan Pablo Gómez contra Gustavo Arrieta. Sexto combate, Jeisson Bayona contra William Wolk. Séptimo combate, Alexandre Berteloot contra Iván Londono, el rifle. Octavo combate, el coestelar, Vazquez contra Nubia, Nascimento. Y el combate estelar de esta gran noche será Julio Davila contra Tacha. Dos grandes deportistas que vienen a darlo todo dentro de nuestra jaula. Así que tienen 5 minuticos. Así que tenemos 5 minutos de receso. Aprovechen este tiempo porque luego nos vamos de corrido con esa gran cartelera que tenemos en ese gran evento.
Somehow they're saying your voice is low, is trying to speak up a little bit. You know, that's what the guy said. Don't go crazy with this. You've been pretty loud, right? I think they're raw. That's why I was asking you guys to talk. So it's really good. Sí, no, 52. No, sí.
Recuerden que podemos disfrutar de todo lo que tenemos preparado en los stands. Tenemos lanzamiento de hachas, cervezas artesanales, flash tattoo, lectura de cartas, venta de comestibles, perros, hamburguesas, chocolates para todos ustedes.
La roja se presenta primero.
Sí, la roja.
Aquí nos sale información sobre José Correa.
José Correa. ¿Quién es José Correa?
Bien.
Fredy.
No, es que sabes que no lo teníamos en la
No, es que yo creo que el buen reemplazo.
Sí.
We have 5 minutes to go by. 4 minutes. En pelea.
Replacement.
Replacement, I don't
We
have.
don't have information about it. Sí, nosotros no tenemos información porque algún reemplazo, ¿cierto?
Sí, pues es de Medellin, se lo dije Medellin, Colombia.
Pero ¿qué academia es?
No tengo ni idea.
Un muchacho que pelea. We're figuring out what to say about that. He's from Medellin. He's a fighter. Deberíamos ir donde está él y preguntarle. Por eso. Pero él está aquí. Claro. Y si no, tenemos que hacernos estar seguros. No. O sea, asegurarnos. Yo iría corriendo, pero no creo que sea una idea asegurarnos. ¿Estamos seguros de que José está aquí?
Sí, claro.
Bueno, entonces uno de nosotros debería ir.
Tell her what to do. You guys, man, you sit in the middle. Say, clear over here. You guys what to do. Van a parar acá. Vamos a mostrar. Make sure you see the behind you. Yeah. Después de eso, porque estoy bastante relajado. Los que ahora se quedan en nuestra reunión, ¿qué pasa? Pasamos a él para empezar desde a ellos. Después de eso, pero le voy a decir a él que le da a ella como un minuto para empezar. Vamos a digo como 3 minutos. Vamos a hacer introducción activa. Va a hablar para 3-4 minutos. Cuando termina, lo voy a hacer así a usted. Usted empieza a hablar. Cómprale un minuto a ella para que está lista. Arranca no, se queda acá, haciéndolos acá. Sí. Él va a estar ahí relajado. Y cuando termine, when you finish, nod, and then you do like an
Medellin y es una cadena que se llama Links. Y está aquí, está aquí. Está calentando.
¿Le puede presentar
El récord.
alguna cosita?
El récord.
Sería muy
El récord por lo menos.
¿De dónde salió? Por lo menos.
Huele muy rico. Huele muy rico.
I'm nodding at her.
Yes, no, you're nodding at me. You're nodding at each other.
Acuérdense de mirarnos mutuamente para saber
Sí, eso lo cabe.
You're leading us.
Ahora. Ahora.
Primera pelea, first fight, Salomón against Dictor.
Salomon Tavares
Salomon
versus Hans Dictator.
del evento.
So I'm going to be like, Kane, we've got a great night of fights. Which one are you most looking forward to? Ramble on about a fight, ramble on about a fight. I'll be like, without further ado, let's get into it.
Of the
First
future
fight
fights, of the future fights, like
of the whole card, yeah.
all right,
It's
yeah.
4 minutes.
4 minutes, yeah.
¿Qué pelea? Which fight do you want to speak about?
About the Tacha,
Tacha.
because I trained with him. And
I can speak about Alex, Sniper
I can
Berteloot.
speak about the Vazquez.
Oh, that's good. And I can speak about Francisco Hernandez as well. Fernando. Me siento como Joe Rogan en la calle. Ya está con ¿cómo así que me explico?
¿Listos? Ready? Stop. Hold on a second. Your envelope. Stand a little closer so you don't see the shit behind you.
Hey, alumbranos con una linterna vos.
I need like a 3-2-1 or something.
O tenemos buena luz ahí.
Listo, go.
All right, fight fans, we are live from the infamous Medellin, Colombia, for Empire MMA 3, brought to you by Burger King, broadcasted by MixedMartialArts.com's The Underground. Tonight's 9-bout card features in the main event, Tacha taking on his most lethal opponent to date in Julio Davila. In the co-main event, we see Argentinian national wrestling team staple Vazquez make a long-awaited return to the mixed martial arts octagon. I'm Ben the Ben Davis. Joining me in the broadcast booth is Bellator's number 10 flyweight Alejandra Lara and Colombian mixed martial artist Juan Peggy. Gang, we've got a great night of fights here tonight. Which one are you most looking forward to?
Okay, we are very excited for this opportunity. This is the first Empire here in Medellin, and we're expecting I have some friends that's gonna be fighting tonight. Like Hans, he have a whole wrestler career, and now he's gonna have his professional debut. And we're gonna have the professional main event and John Tacha that I was training with him in Brazil. So we have big expectation about a lot of fights. What do you think? Juan?
I think we're gonna have a very good display of violence tonight. There's very skilled martial artists here. We have very good debuts today. As Alejandra was speaking, we have Hans Toros debuted in MMA, and it's gonna be very good for him as he had a wrestling career. As well, we're gonna have Luz from Argentina, who was a wrestler as well, doing her participation in Empire III. So I think we're gonna have a very good evening of fights today, and I think also that the event has been very good all around. A lot of people of enthusiasm. So I think we're going to have a good evening tonight.
And calling Hans-Dieter Toro's wrestling career just a wrestling career is an understatement. He is the #4 wrestler in the world at 137 pounds, two-time Pan American champion. Hans-Dieter Toro is bred for battle. No amateur experience. He's hopping right into the pro rankings. And talking about another wrestler, Luz Vazquez, Argentinian national team. Her MMA debut was in May of 2010. Her next fight was in October of 2017. And she has her third bout tonight in November of 2022. That's an impressive length of time for 3 fights, Alejandra.
Yes, of course. And she had this need to win, to demonstrate that she wants to fight. And it's not an easy fight. Because she's this Brazilian girl who is very, very experimented, and let's see what happens.
Another fighter on tonight's card, the lone American on Empire MMA III, Philadelphia's William Wolk, a training partner of UFC's Chris and Kyle Dawkins. He is 4-1 in professional grappling. He's been described as suffocating to roll with. When Will gets a hold of you, he's not going to let go of you, and that's a fight that I think is going to hit the ground pretty early, Peggy.
I agree. He was telling us earlier on the interviews that he was trying to get a fight for a large time, and now he got the fight. He came all the way from the United States to Colombia to do this fight, so I think he's very eager to get inside the cage and display his skill set.
Now, talking about traveling, tell me more about the Frenchman, Alexandre Berteloot, who came to Colombia 5 years ago, fell in love with it, and now fights tonight. You know him pretty well.
So Alex is a training partner of mine. He trains in MMA Colombia. He came here 5 years ago for business purpose. He stayed, he fell in love with the country, and now he's starting to create an MMA career here. He's a professional. He's fought one of the best exponents of the martial arts in that category. Davila recently, he did an amazing fight. He came from a win, so he's been on a win streak that I think he wants to keep this time on this fight. Let's see how it goes. Last fight of his opponent was won by a knockout, and he came as well from his pro boxing debut. So he's won both of his last fights as well.
Talking about knockouts, one half of our main event, John Tacha has 5 first-round KOs. Alejandra, you said you've trained with him before. What can we expect from the Bogota-born and bred bantamweight John Tacha tonight?
Yeah, Ben, as we said before, he is one of the biggest expectations of Colombia right now. He has a lot of experience in wrestling before, but right now he is one of the biggest fights of his career with a very experimented guy from Ecuador. His international fight, one of those, because this is a very important event for Empire right now.
And one thing to note about Julio Davila, the Ecuadorian entering enemy territory tonight, he is Tapology's number 16 ranked bantamweight in Latin America. Make no mistake, John Tacha enters the trenches tonight. Without further ado, it's about that time we get to our first fight of the evening. Solomon Taveras versus
Hans Toro.
Dunkerque, ladies and gentlemen, our sponsor, para todos ustedes presentándoles en esta noche la tercera edición de Empire III. Para todos ustedes, desde el Parque Los Salados, estamos acompañándole con muchísimo gusto. Desde aquí, el Parque Los Salados, original desde Medellin, Antioquia, para toda Colombia, toda Latinoamérica y el mundo entero a través de las redes sociales de Empire III. Aquí estamos para presentarles los combates que a continuación van a encender toda la adrenalina de las MMA. Y, damas y caballeros, Dunkerque da la bienvenida a este combate En categoría amateur, en la categoría de los 66 kilogramos. Damos inicio. Inmediatamente llamamos a las dos esquinas, iniciando por la esquina roja, Salomón Tavares.
You can see the tail of the tape record. 0 on both sides. The pro debut for both gentlemen. Victor Toro at 27 years of age will have a slight advantage of 5 years in terms of age and experience over on Victor.
We're expecting
We are currently locating the ring girls. We don't know where they are. Those gals be getting up to things.
Hacemos llamado nuevamente, por favor, la esquina roja, Salomón Tavares.
Awaiting the walkout of Salomón Tavares. This is, again, his pro debut. He was supposed to fight a month ago, but here he is now. He figured he'd maintain fighting weight and just compete on Empire MMA III. If you have epilepsy, I encourage you to look away. Tonight's walkouts will be bright. Began as a Muay Thai and Taekwondo practitioner, Salomón Tavares has now developed a full set of tools at his disposal ahead of this professional debut. Outside of fighting, he works as a personal trainer and wants a big knockout tonight, Alejandra.
Yeah, he knows the background of his opponent, that is obviously wrestling. So I think he was preparing himself a lot to defense and to counteract that possible game that Hans comes with.
Well, Peggy, when we talk about nullifying grapplers, what does Salomón Tavares need to do to better?
I think Salomón has got to have a very good distance, create a lot of angles, and be moving all the time, but also being very conscious of his moving, because he might get into the timing of Hans's tries to get taken down.
Some small holdup at the opening of the ring.
Salomón is of one academy in Medellin that is called Zona de Combate. They have a wrestling coaches with big experience in the sport, but also as all the academies in Medellin and in Colombia are trying to get every time more complete in every area.
Salomón Tavares finally enters the octagon.
Hacemos llamado a la esquina azul, Victor Toro.
Now is Victor time. He was called to the
Victor
cage.
Toro, 27 years young, already the number 4 ranked wrestler at 132 pounds in the world. He makes his professional MMA debut with 0 amateur experience, saying he was instinctively drawn to MMA. Wrestling, but with punches, what could be better? 2-time Pan American champion, first at the South American Games, currently on the Colombian national wrestling team. This guy has an unbelievably high feeling in MMA.
Yes, I can speak a lot about Hans because he was my wrestling coach in Guadalajara. Our paths crossed like 2 years before because, yeah, we have a family there. And he trains not just here in Colombia, but there in Guadalajara. And he is so passionate about wrestling that he always shares not just techniques, but the spiritual thing. And yeah, I know as he speaks about the instinct, he knows he's coming to destroy.
We can see Hans's brother.
Curious, we have located the ring girl. They are FNK. I know that about Hans Victor Toro. He came 19th in the 2022 World Wrestling Championship. The individual who beat him made it all the way to the quarterfinals. He's inspired by those close and motivated by those that have gone from rags to riches. Hans Victor Toro entering the octagon tonight.
We can see Hans's brother on his corner, the one who got him into wrestling. He's right here to see his
combate amateur en los 66 kilogramos, damas y caballeros. Presentando en la esquina roja de la ciudad de Medellín, su gimnasio, zona de combate, damas y caballeros. Fuerte el aplauso, él es Salomón Tavares. Ahora, damas y caballeros, presentando a la esquina azul, en los 66 kilogramos, de la Ceja Antioquia, su academia MMA Colombia. Damas y caballeros, un gusto presentarles. Fuerte el aplauso. Él es Víctor Hans Toro. Combate de 3 rounds, de 3 minutos cada uno. Referee, indicaciones. ¿Conocen el reglamento? Tiene una pelea clara. Por favor, estén atentos a mis indicaciones. Si quieren chocar los guantes, es el momento.
Third man inside the octagon is Jorge Rojas. This first fight takes place at 145 pounds or 65 kilograms, as I've learned this week.
I have to say that Hans is not wanting to wrestle. He wants to prove what it's really to fight MMA, not just to go and wrestle.
That could work to the detriment of the young Hans Victor Toro, though, going away from where your bread is buttered, Peggy. Some would.
I have to say that Hans is not wanting to wrestle. He wants to prove what it's really to fight MMA, not just to go and wrestle.
That could work to the detriment of the young Hans Victor Toro, though, going away from where your bread is buttered, Peggy. Some would say path of least resistance is grappling.
I think both of them are going at a good pace, trying to check the other guy. They are both looking calm, looking for the center of the cage.
Hans Victor Toro with a small reset right there. You can see Salomon commanding the center.
They are studying each other and looking for holes to enter.
Big exchange. Seems like Salomon is commanding the striking early. Hans Victor Toro is step behind. Victor eats a big left hand.
Yeah, I think we were expecting this to see a bit more of experience in the striking by Salomon.
There's that world-class wrestling from Hans Victor Toro. Salomon Tavares, though, doing a good job of staying up, Peggy.
He did a beautiful job with that knee. He got out, created space, and Hans was looking to control him against the cage and put pressure, but he was not able to do it this time.
Salomon whiffs on a big front kick right there. Hans Victor Toro biting on a lot of these feints. That was a big right overhand.
And he is finding the confidence he needs to go forward.
Salomon landing a crisp combination, ending with that inside kick. Hans Victor on the hips. Oh, great dexterity by Salomon Tavares.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now he's going for the back. He did a derby roll there. Working on punching.
Yeah, Salomon is looking very tough. He's trying to. And yeah, that's a good idea, I think.
Hans Victor Toro in a world of trouble, trying to elicit some ground and pound, but that is looking tight, Unpegi.
He's trying to lock the triangle choke. He's trying to isolate the hidden arm, but maybe the shin guards are not letting him be very comfortable from that position.
Definitely difficult to finish the submission with those shin guards, but Salomon Tabadas putting in some serious effort tonight.
He opened the triangle, and now he's out.
Reset by both gentlemen. I think some respect's been earned, Alejandra.
Yeah, that was very close. But yeah, they respect each other and yeah, giving their best.
Big check left right there lands for Hans Dichter. Closing moments of round number one. Massive shots from both gentlemen. Solomon goes high with a kick, bounces off the shoulders of the number 4 ranked wrestler in the world at 132. What a round, Unpegi. What do you make of those first 5?
I think it was a good round. Hans was looking to get down Salomon, but was not very effective trying. He got one attempt, got the back, and then got into Salomon's triangle choke. He was able to get out, but it looked very tight.
You can hear the crowd chanting, Toro, Toro. There's a lot of support here for Hans Dichter Toro, Alejandra.
Yeah, Hans is very loved in the sport media here. And yeah, we were expecting a warrior to come here, even without that big striking experience, but he's giving all his bigger punches here.
Salomon Tabadas once again operates as a personal trainer outside the octagon. I have to imagine his cardio is going to hold up tonight.
Hans is also a top wrestling athlete. I think his cardio is on point as well. I think we're going to have a very good fight. And it's going to go maybe to the 3 rounds if there's not a possible knockdown or submission attempt.
Big swing right there from Salomon with Alejandra.
I think it's important to mention that cardio for wrestling is not the same, also because he's out of his comfort zone, so that puts your mind in working like more.
Lots of kicks from Salomon Tabadas through the first 6 minutes. Big connection right there from Salomon. Wow, I mean, Unpegi, he is just operating.
And he's working those combos. He's working those striking combos. He finishes with a kick, and that keeps him away from a possible takedown.
Lots of left hands from Salomon Tabadas early in round number 2. You can see them connecting on the side of Hans Dichter Toro's head.
I think Salomon's southpaw stance is also something that hasn't been very good for Hans. He's not able to understand very well. That was a good overhand.
Good left hand right there. And yeah, I think Salomon came with more confidence for this round.
Once again, tonight's fights are brought to you by Deep Bets. If you need some fantasy sports, DFS, or other betting advice, they've got a gigantic content library to help you with it. Big thank you to Deep Bets. You can see Hans Dichter closing the distance, trying to grapple Unpegi, but Salomon Tabadas once again exiting the clinch.
Once again, he exited the cage control from Hans. He's trying to get real close, but he's not working with combination. That was a good uppercut, and now he's throwing punches.
Hans Dichter Toro putting it together on the feet, snuck that right uppercut beautifully through the guard of Salomon.
And he is going forward all the time. He wants to win this fight so much.
He rocked him a little bit.
Salomon Tabadas is wilting under the pressure of Hans Dichter Toro. Toro with a front headlock gets it down to the ground, Unpegi.
He's trying to stand up. He's controlled against the cage by Hans and working on those knees. Hans trying to take him down if he wants to get a good hold of position from that place.
Hans Dichter Toro like a wet blanket on Salomon Tabadas. He's not giving him an inch. Big right hand on the exit. Now Hans Dichter resets to the center, Alejandra.
We know Hans have a good control with in closing distance, but right now he's demonstrating he has.
Oh, look at this. Hans Dichter Toro, hands on the feet. Is he exhausted or what, Unpegi?
I think he was showing a little exhaustion over there. He's going against the cage. 10 more seconds. Let's see what he does in these 10 seconds.
awful body language for Hans Victor Toro. Salomon Taveras looking as fresh as a newborn child. That is the end of round number 2.
We could see Salomon telling him to go. He was eager to exchange, and we saw an exhausted Hans in this last round.
As I said before, like the cardio for wrestling is different than entering in a fight. It's what we just see.
And, you know, we talk about the fact that Hans Victor Toro has never had an amateur fight. This might be where it costs him. When the fight goes into deep waters, that amateur experience could greatly assist him. He is looking defeated on that stool, Peggy.
We can see his coach and his brother telling him to stand up, breathe, and go ahead because he looks exhausted.
Yeah, and to keep the confidence because he was about to knock him out. But, yeah, he needs to just breathe right now.
Wow.
Wow, we can see a fresher Salomon. His corner is very confident, telling him to keep going forward with the strategy. He's laughing. Let's see what happens in this third round.
Look at the sweat coming off of Salomon Taveras. He is absolutely steaming right now. Round number 3, we lock the doors. Not what we would have expected from the 2-time Pan American champion, but Salomon Taveras seems the fresher fighter heading into round number 3.
In my opinion, the bigger pressure in this round is it's mine. But yeah, he had the mindset right now to keep in the game.
Salomon Taveras commanding the center. Hans Victor Toro behind those black lines. Once again, tonight's fights are brought to you by Burger King.
Whoa.
Salomon working on those kicks, switching levels.
Oh,
and he's
big
getting
combination from Salomon. That left hand has been a piston all fight for him, Peggy.
Those were some significant strikes right there. When you go against a tough wrestler, they can eat some punches as well, but they are, of course, creating a lot of damage.
I have to say that Salomon is showing a great cardio too because he is still landing big kicks and punches, but there it is.
That is an Olympic level takedown right there. Hans Victor Toro, but Salomon Taveras with the roll. Hans Victor Toro,
he's trying to squeeze.
Oh, Salomon Taveras is struggling. Alejandra, this could be bad for Salomon.
Yes, this could be bad for Salomon, but also Hans needs to reset his position to close a real submission.
He was looking for that arm triangle. It was not very useful. Salomon defended. It's trying to get him close, hug him, but Hans is also hugging him, so it's closing the space for him to punch.
You can see Hans Victor Toro applying a lot of shoulder pressure into the neck of Salomon Taveras. But Salomon active from the bottom.
Like right now, he needs to start punishing or at least, mounting.
Salomon looking for the sweeps, and he was getting out. He got out. He's up. He's up.
Salomon Taveras announcing himself with a big front kick to the midsection. You got to think, what has that done to the little cardio of Hans Victor Toro?
Yeah. It's looking really good in this round, and it's going very active, going forward. And Hans is in problems a little bit.
Left hand almost connected on the chin of Hans Victor Toro. Oh! Big knee! Hans Victor is down! Salomon Taveras looking for the finish.
We might get a stoppage here. Oh, and that was an illegal. That was an illegal kick. And that was an illegal kick.
Bloodied and battered. Wow, he might be out on his feet. Hans Victor Toro is stumbling around the octagon.
Let's see what happens with this kick.
Wow.
This is maybe a disqualification.
Hans Victor Toro.
He's a little knocked out by the illegal kick. We have a disqualification. Let's wait what the judge says.
On a knee right now, unsure.
It's crazy right now.
Hans Victor Toro is sitting down in front of the broadcast booth. He is looking absolutely defeated. Salomon Taveras receiving some instruction from his coaching staff. Unsure what we are going to do here. I do not speak Spanish.
I just have to say it was a very, very intense round.
Look at the blood of Hans-Victor Toro.
Yeah.
It is all over the commentating
We
desk.
have
My
blood
notes
here.
are crimson with blood.
Yeah, I have to say that kick wasn't intentional. Like, he was going forward, but he have to remind, that
Hands are pointed. It is an illegal strike. Veteran referee Jorge Rojas knows how to handle these situations. We can trust the outcome to him. There's blood on my water cup. I hope there's not inside of it. We have a little cabin fever situation.
Yeah. So, can't say before he wanted to feel the adrenaline and the real pressure of being in an MMA fight. So I think he got what he wanted.
I think no one really understands how it feels to be inside the cage unless you get inside the cage. You can be a top athlete in any combat sport, but once you get in there, it's real savage. Everyone's screaming around, yelling at you. It's a very, very big load of pressure right there.
It's something that you really can't prepare for. I mean, we talk about Hans-Victor Toro's
un poquito más arriba.
He's
Bueno,
competed on
señores,
some very
estamos disfrutando de una fiesta
like
muy
we keep
bacana en familia, con los
reiterating,
amigos. La invitación es al buen comportamiento del público. Sí, señores, es importantísimo. Estamos disfrutando de un deporte del cual todos amamos y por eso estamos en este
Yeah,
momento.
we are educating people here because this is one of the first big events of MMA here. So, yeah, they're telling
Los
people
invitamos a que
to
sigan disfrutando esta
behave,
fiesta porque ya
to
vienen las peleas
enjoy,
profesionales,
but be
porque esto apenas
calm.
está comenzando. Entonces, la invitación es a, por favor, el buen comportamiento de parte del público. Muchísimas
It's an
gracias.
illegal blow. Feels like the most that one could do.
What for me it's important is that these illegal blow, of course, create a lot of damage into Hans's humanity. So I don't know what's going to happen with the judges' criteria, as they have shin guards. I suppose that they are going to rule this fight as an amateur fight, but I'm not really sure what's the discussion that's going on between the coroner and the judges.
Well, you know what I do know? MixedMartialArts.com, fantastic content library of information regarding MMA, the world of it. Head over to the UG and educate yourself on what's current in MMA. Hans-Victor Toro rises back to his feet. Solomon Taveras has been planted on that side of the octagon since this altercation ensued. I believe Jorge Rojas will be taking a point.
He's asking the judges.
To take a point.
Yes, it's asking. Well, it's the official decision.
It seems like the judge.
Oh. Interesting turn of events early on Empire MMA 3. Again, still to come, the Argentinian national wrestling team staple, Luis Vazquez, and the Bogotan-born and bred bantamweight, John Tacha, in our main event. Seems like we are approaching a conclusion for this fight.
It seems like the judge is saying
they
that
will
there's
keep fighting.
7 seconds remaining.
7 seconds, Hans-Victor Toro, planted in the middle, Solomon Taveras. Oh! You can see veteran referee Jorge Rojas almost threw a front kick of his
Look,
own.
look
right
at
there.
that. I love that. They are showing respect.
That's some respect.
Yeah.
That's some respect. Amazing attitude by Salomon Tavares.
Those strikes after the bell, right? When you've already thrown it and then the bell rings, hard to retract.
It's quite impossible to take one of those punches back once you throw it.
But look how Salomon took that, because he knew that it wasn't intentional. Okay, this is an amateur fight. This is not the end of the world. Let's keep doing this and let's show some respect, because we are fighters and we can be together. Look, they are holding each other's fight.
Love it.
Beautiful display of respect from Salomon. Salomon used to be an athlete for MMA Colombia before. Now he switched camps and he's training at Zona de Combate.
Welcome to the mixed martial arts world, Hans Dictor Toro. He had all he could handle in Salomon Tavares, both gentlemen making the pro debut. Unsure who will receive the nod here tonight in the event that a point was taken. It does make things a bit murky, but one thing is for sure, that first fight was exceptional.
We were holding our feelings because, of course, we train with Hans and we know him, but it's like being, impartial here and neutral. But it was an amazing fight and very exciting.
As I look around, I keep saying more and more blood from the mouth and nose of Hans Dictor Toro on our commentary booth tonight. I mean, when you talk about adversity, he certainly faced it in that third round, Peggy.
For you to keep up after a fight, after a kick like that, it takes a lot of courage and also a big heart. He was, for us, it seemed like he was knocked out, but he still...
Señoras y señores, tenemos un ganador de este combate amateur
I think
en los 86 kilogramos.
like neutral or
Las tarjetas 28-28, 27-29, 27-29. Por decisión mayoritaria. Damas y caballeros, fuerte el aplauso al ganador. Salomon
Tavares, successful in his professional debut, moves to 1-0 against the very game accoladed wrestler in Hans Dictor Toro. Again, two-time Pan American champion, the number 4 ranked at 132. Salomon Tavares had a lot on his hands, but Alejandra, he did a great job.
They did a great job, but this is still an amateur fight. As we see, they have a shin pads, and they still have a bright career ahead of them.
Salomon Tavares celebrating with the corner inside the octagon. Looking ahead to our next fight at 125 pounds, Jose Correa takes on Hernan Rodriguez. Peggy, early thoughts on this next matchup?
So I don't know a lot about Jose Correa or Hernan Rodriguez. I know it's a flyweight bout. I hope there's a lot of action.
Ahora sí, gracias. Damas y caballeros, presenta el siguiente combate. Categoría amateur. Hacemos llamado a las dos esquinas. Primero, Jose Correa.
Little is known about Jose Correa. He was a late addition to this card after we'd already wrapped up the interviews, the media day. So here he is.
Yeah, I know he's from an academy in Medellin that it's called Lynx. I heard about this academy that they have good jiu-jitsu, but as all the academies in this city are still growing and trying to get more everything complete.
En nuestro próximo combate amateur, Jose Correa.
Again, talking about the evolution of mixed martial arts inside Colombia, Peggy, when you think where MMA was a decade ago, how different was it than it is today?
Oh man, for instance, I started training just 8 years ago. The MMA scene in Colombia has been growing progressively. We have very good exponents representing us. We have fighters like Alejandra Lara in Bellator. We have had also Sabina Mazo in UFC. We have some fighters that have fought before, as for instance, Professor Fredy Serrano.
You can see 5 years stand between Jose Correa and Hernan Rodriguez. Jose 26, Hernan 21. Hernan's record 7 wins, 1 defeat. Jose Correa makes the debut tonight. The Medellin-born fighter takes on the Bogota-bred Hernan Rodriguez.
As a fun fact, Hernan Rodriguez is John Tacha's brother. They both train together under Fredy Serrano.
I have to make clear that record is an amateur record because this is his pro debut right now.
Amateur debut for Jose Correa. He is entering the octagon for the first time to do battle against the very tested Hernan Rodriguez. I mean, 8 fights of experience against a debutant. If you're Jose Correa, how do you battle the amount of wisdom that Hernan has, Alejandra?
Actually, I think Jose had the opportunity to compete in different martial arts. I mean, this generation of fighters have a different scenario than the one I have to face with more competition in jiu-jitsu, in boxing, so he have maybe signed a competition or different background, but being in the cage is a new experience and is not easy for anyone.
Once again, tonight's fights are brought to you by Burger King. If you find yourself a bit hungry on a Tuesday afternoon and you want something to eat, I recommend Burger King. Best Whoppers on the planet. We are still waiting for Jose Correa to make the walk to the octagon. I believe he is moments away from appearing.
Estamos haciendo nuevamente el llamado. Damas y caballeros, a la esquina roja, Jose Correa.
The third time we have announced Jose Correa. Maybe third time's the charm. Here he is, Jose Alejandro Correa. Jose Correa will have to overcome the experience of Hernan Rodriguez here tonight, and was prepared to do so.
Inmediatamente hacemos llamado en la esquina azul, Hernan Rodriguez.
Hernan Rodriguez comes into this amateur fight on a 2-fight win streak, both this year, a second-round TKO in July and a first-round KO in January. His brother, John Tacha, greatly helped him in his career and significantly influenced his love for the sport. He admitted in the fighter interview that he doesn't know much about Jose Correa, but it doesn't matter who or where, he simply needs to stay active when picking.
Now we have Hernan coming out.
Yeah, fun fact about Hernan Correa is it's called as a nickname Tachita because it's like a little version, a small version of his big brother Tacha, who we're gonna have in the main event tonight.
One thing to note, Hernan Rodriguez lost by decision of July 2021. He has not been to the third round since. In the event we find ourselves in those final several minutes, it's interesting to see Hernan Rodriguez's cardio and how it holds up.
See how it holds up. I think, of course, Hernan's experience is going to be very useful for him. And let's see if he's able to work on their wrestling-based strategy. Let's see how Jose Correa stands. He seems confident.
A name that we will be mentioning many times throughout tonight's broadcast is Fredy Serrano, the first Colombian to secure a victory inside the UFC. Hernan Rodriguez is training under him. Tell me about Fredy Serrano, Alejandra.
Well, Fredy Equipo Serrano is an academy that has been working a lot for growing the sport here in Colombia, and they have a wrestling base, but they also work with all the teams in Bogota, with big names, with Alex Bellator, who fought in UFC too. And they are really tough people, all of them.
Segundo llamado a la esquina azul, Fernando Rodríguez.
Right now.
Also, his coach, Fredy Serrano, also wrestled against Henry Cejudo in the Olympic Games of Beijing in 2008.
Did he win?
No, of course he didn't. Henry won that category that year.
A lot of experience under head coach Fredy Serrano, who competed at Empire MMA 1, ended the career on a victory. I believe he says he's open to competing, but is happy operating behind the scenes as a promoter, as a coach these days, more so than anything else.
I saw him recently competing in a jiu-jitsu tournament. He got a medal, I don't know which, but he secured a position on the podium. So we can still see an active grappler in Fredy Serrano.
I think we can see what to be a fighter means, and that
Nuevamente el llamado a la esquina azul, Hernan Rodríguez.
In the event Hernan Rodriguez continues to remain missing, Fredy Serrano might just have to step in there.
I think Fredy is not very happy with his fighter being called 3 times.
Once again, Empire MMA 3 is housed inside the Knockout Beer Festival in Medellin, Colombia. Some of the best breweries in the city have all arrived at the Ecological Park to entertain, have some fun, a good afternoon. And there he is, Hernan Rodriguez.
Walking with his brother behind him.
John Tacha in his corner tonight. Again, our main event. Kind of getting double duty as a cornerman and a fighter.
It's the second fight for Team Fredy Serrano. John Tacha as a cornerman. He always is working or as a coach or as a fighter. In this scenario, he's both.
Patrocinado por Dunkerque. Combate amateur en la categoría de 52 kilogramos, damas y caballeros, presentando a la esquina roja. De la ciudad de Medellín, su academia Links, su edad 26 años, su alcance 1,70 m, su estatura 1,60 m. Damas y caballeros, presentando a la esquina roja, fuerte el aplauso de José Alejandre Correa.
a pelear en la esquina azul. De la ciudad de Bogotá, del club equipo Serrano. Su edad 21 años, su alcance 1,69 m, su estatura 1,61 m. Damas y caballeros, un gusto presentarles en la esquina azul. Él es Hernán Tachita Rodríguez. Indicación entre los referees. Tercer hombre en la jaula.
Our ring girl coming in at an opportune moment to walk around the octagon.
Better later than
Never. Third man inside the octagon is Jorge Rojas, our second fight of the night. You can see Hernan Rodriguez in the gray shorts with the blue gloves and Jose Correa in the red and black.
Seems like both fighters are southpaw. Both of them with southpaw stance.
They are studying each other, looking for their reactions.
The Cheetah measuring range with that right hand. Jose Correa eating a big leg kick right there. And just with one of his own, big exchange, Alejandra.
Yeah, look at that. Look at those punches going forward. They have a lot of energy right now, and they have to administrate a little bit to keep fighting and to keep with that energy.
Jose Correa doing a great job of defending here, but Hernan Rodriguez still on the assault, looking for this potential on the exit. Hernan gets a couple strikes in.
Jose working on the low kicks, switching to a high kick. And he striked the leg kick again.
But, yeah. Hernan is enjoying the fight. It's smiling, and it's entering his confidence. It's playing.
Tachita seems to be pretty confident.
But in my opinion, it's risking a little bit with those kicks that led him a little bit in a bad standing or giving a bad angle, maybe. They have their team from Bogota. This is a traditional fight here, like Medellin versus Bogota.
There's a big rivalry usually in between people from Bogota and Medellin. So this might thrill the audience.
They're currently changing the batteries in my microphone, but inside the octagon, you can see Hernan Rodriguez doing a fantastic job. Enters in with some strikes right there. Jose unable to connect.
Hernan Rodriguez trying to control the center of the cage.
Big check right hook, miss right there for Jose. Tachita.
And it seems like he's going for the hips.
Yeah, the corner of Hernan asked him for that takedown that he did really well right now.
He's inside the guillotine.
Deep in this guillotine. This is bad for Hernan Rodriguez.
What do you think about that position? Is close enough?
I think he has to get the right shoulder to the mat if he wants to create pressure. Tachita seems to be comfortable there, but it's a very nasty position to be in.
Wow, Tachita
and the round is over.
To the second round. That was a deep guillotine, Alejandra. Jose Correa unable to submit Hernando.
Yeah, but that was very close. Like Tachita could realize the risk he took in that, because it's not just to do the takedown, but to keep control with no risk of submission, right?
Couple beautiful strikes landed by Hernan Tachita Rodriguez in round number one. Seemed like Jose Correa's hands were just a little bit too far down. If I were him defensively in round number two, I'd keep those hands a little bit higher, right, Alejandra?
I think that it's one thing that all the fighters want and need to hear and to apply in their fight, because it's not that easy to remember, because physically is hard, and you need endurance, and you need to have your shoulders trained to keep your hands up, and all. Yeah, that requires a lot of training.
Round number 2, veteran referee Jorge Rojas is set to get us going. In my opinion, Tacha, better performance round number 1. Jose Correa, we'll see what he can do in round number 2.
Yeah.
No touch of gloves, both guys right in front of each other. Beautiful question mark kick right there from Jose Correa.
Yeah, I think both of them came more confident and with more power.
Hernan goes for a spinning strike right there. Each got trading low kicks right now. Tacha goes high. Spinning wheel kick not there for Jose Correa.
They're going back and forth and say, you kick me, I kick you too. You punch me, I punch you too. But now Tacha is capitalizing that position.
Peggy, they're right in front of us. Walk me through what you're seeing.
We have Tacha trying to control the body. Jose is doing a good job trying to keep the arm that's free from punching him in the face.
Beautiful work by Tacha here, lacing his left leg inside the stance of Jose Correa. Retracts it momentarily. Knee to the body.
Working on those knees.
Brutal control, locks the hands around the body.
He's definitely looking to take him down, looking for that body lock position.
But now he's trying to change and to doing a transition from that position to the ground, or just to keep punching.
Jose Correa doing a good job of evading and mitigating damage on the break. He lands. Jose goes high with a kick.
Wow. Big right hand from Jose.
Tacha.
In my opinion, those kicks are very expensive, energetically talking. But yeah, he has to administrate his energy to then be very tired for the next round.
Definitely gonna have to watch that gas tank. Tacha throwing a lot of strikes with the downstairs. Jose Correa eating some really significant shots through this second round, Peggy.
He is. Whenever they start trading kicks, he's also getting punched by Hernan.
Hernan Rodriguez briefly stumbles Jose Correa. The impact of those shots downstairs seem to be producing.
Yeah, he was controlling the center of the octagon, but right now, Jose is also looking that dominance with punches he lands.
Jumping front kick miles away from landing. Jose Correa, though, still showing some creativity deep in round number 2. Tacha recognizing those shots from Jose Correa.
He's definitely enjoying the fight. Whenever he gets kicked or punched, he smiles at his opponent, and now he's looking for a takedown again.
Explosion at the end of round number 2. Tacha finally gets Jose Correa to the mat, and we are on to round number 3. Alejandra, when we talk about the pressure that Tacha is putting on Jose Correa, I have to say it's pretty significant.
I think he's growing with the round, and he's like enjoying more. I love that energy that he was showing at the end of the round, and was very smart to end the round with that takedown.
Let's see how this third round goes. Jose Correa has to work on ending this fight with a submission or a knockout if he wants to win. As my opinion for the first 2 rounds is that Hernan for sure got them.
I have to agree with Colombian mixed martial artist Juan Upegui. Hernan Rodriguez pitching a shutout so far, 2-0. But Jose Correa has shown he's very dangerous and is willing to throw unorthodox strikes. I mean, he's cutting angles with those spinning attempts and those jumping kicks that Hernan could potentially run right into.
It seems like he was once a taekwondo fighter, a fighter that focused on kicks, because he's got a lower guard and he's doing a good job with kicks, but they're not very efficient in terms of creating a lot of damage at the moment.
I have to say I was expecting a little bit this kind of fight because we know Jose have a martial art background, but not that experience in wrestling as Tachita have.
Even with those shin guards on, I have to imagine that shin-on-shin contact is going to hurt.
At least they have shin pads, no?
Definitely a lot of concentration downstairs from both fighters. I mean, they are winging those leg kicks and trying to chop that wood, Upegi.
Jose has been finishing all his combinations with a low kick, and then he switches to a high kick. Trying to switch levels. That was a good right hand from Hernan.
He is going too confident, but...
Yeah, now he's taunting him.
Hernan Rodriguez feeling himself in this third round. Tachita puts Jose Correa down.
Oh, and he jumped right into Jose's guard.
Yeah, he needs to be careful also right there.
Wouldn't be very smart against a good grappler or jiu-jitsu athlete, but it seems that Jose is not very comfortable in bottom position.
Especially with those shin guards. It's going to be very difficult for him to really finish any of these submission attempts like we've already seen. Fighters are struggling with those shin guards.
I completely agree with you, Ben. Those shin guards are, of course, an obstacle for submissions. And let's see if Hernan is able to work on his ground and pound from that position. He's creating space.
Drop back down. Jose Correa doing a really good job of just maintaining control and posture. He's got that closed guard. Seems like he wants to maybe force Jorge Rojas back to the...
Yeah, and that was what the thing he had to do now, and it's to punish Jose and capitalize that position that he have.
Hernan Rodriguez using his head to try and find some better positioning here for those strikes. Last several moments of round number 3. Seems like Hernan Rodriguez is cruising to a 3-0 shutout tonight.
Now Hernan working on the ground and pound. He's trying to pin his opponent's head with his own head. I don't think that's very good for his position to punch.
Hernan, in my opinion, doesn't need to do too much to win this fight. He just needs to be smart and, control and keep a good position.
The pressure was all on Correa coming into this third round. He's the one who needed the stoppage. And then Rodriguez content to continue this grappling assault he's got going.
Well, I got to say as well, I thought this fight was going to have a different ending. I thought Hernan would finish the fight earlier. But Jose has been doing a good job resisting.
What a flurry by Hernan Rodriguez to end round number 3. I have to imagine with that performance, he's going to be walking home with a victory tonight. Excelled in the striking, and right there showed how immense of a grappler he is, Alejandra.
Yeah, I think he applied very good his skills, and it was a very good fight for him, and I think he could think in going professional really soon.
This is Jose Correa's first fight. He went against a fighter that had 8 fight experience, so I think Jose Correa also did a good job on resisting the attempts of Hernan to finish him on those ground and pounds. He got takedowns on the 3 rounds, so I think what you said is completely accurate, Ben. If everything goes as expected, Hernan is going to go home with a win tonight.
Jose Correa definitely displayed a lot of durability tonight inside the octagon. And again, we mentioned that the experience of Hernan Tachita Rodriguez would probably present itself, and it seemed like it did. But Jose Correa, again, made it to the scorecards, right? He wasn't finished. He wasn't KO'd or submitted. That's got to be a feather in the hat for Jose Correa.
I agree. And the fight that he did before didn't pass the second round. So it's also an accomplishment for Jose. He was the first fighter in this streak to be able to get the fight towards the calling of the judges.
It's always remarkable the fight of one fighter who come with short notice, and it was what Jose did. And I have to say he showed hard and was very tough.
For sure, he showed up, he came, he fought, He got to the end of the third round, and now we're waiting for the judge's decision. We see Fredy Serrano hugging his fighter.
We send it inside the octagon to veteran announcer Mauro Jimenez for the decision. By all accounts, we anticipate Hernan Rodriguez to extend his winning streak tonight. Correction, we will send it inside in a moment to the cage. Our judges ringside are Jamie Agudolo, Juan Agudolo, and the combination of Jorge Rojas and Ruben Vila. We're pulling double duty tonight as judges and referees. We likely should have mentioned that earlier in the broadcast.
Now waiting for the scorecards. We see referee Jorge Rojas on the center of the cage, waiting for the official decision.
Camera woman is entering the octagon for the decision.
En nuestro segundo combate amateur, en los 52 kilogramos, damas y caballeros, los resultados son tarjetas 28-29, 27-30, 28-29. Para un ganador en este combate, por decisión unánime, Hernán Tachita Rodriguez.
And there it is, as anticipated, Hernan Rodriguez adds another victory to his arsenal. Well-rounded performance here tonight. The striking looked as crisp as ever, and his grappling seemed on point against a very game Jose Correa Umpegi.
I think he's got to improve a little bit more. His ground and pound game, but he definitely did a very good control of the ground. He got his takedowns. He was not damaged at all on the exchange of striking. So yeah, this is another win for Hernan, and this is another win for Team Fredy Serrano. 2-0 in today's Empire MMA fights.
I believe now looking ahead a little bit to several fighters that have yet to compete. We've got Juan Pablo Gomez, who's 5-1 as an amateur from Bogota, Colombia. This is his
Tenemos el ganador de este segundo combate amateur. Inmediatamente queremos conocer sus palabras de esta victoria hacia su equipo y a los fans que tienen este lugar.
Let's listen what Tachita has to say.
Gracias a la Academia Club de Equipo Serrano, a todos mis compañeros de entrenamiento que han influido algo en este proceso, pues me tienen aquí. Gracias a todas las personas que están aquí pendientes del proceso del MMA, a todos los que nos han seguido en las redes sociales, acá también en la jaula. Quiero agradecerle a todos mis familiares, a mi hermano, yo Tacha, que siempre ha estado ahí conmigo, al profe Fredy Serrano, y a todos mis compañeros de entrenamiento. Esta pelea se la quiero dedicar a primero que todo, también gracias a mi mamá, a mi papá que están en la casa y que me están viendo y me están apoyando desde allá. Y ahora sí le quiero dedicar esta pelea a mi mujer. Se la debo desde la vez pasada y está cumpliendo ahorita años, el 23, entonces se la quiero dedicar. Y gracias por el apoyo.
Tachita Rodriguez.
He was thankful to his academy, his friends, the audience.
Estamos con
And
el
he
patrocinio
dedicated
de
this fight to his
Wolk.
girl back at home.
Y nos acercamos,
He's
damas y
definitely very
caballeros,
happy
a
with
nuestro
this win.
último combate amateur de la noche.
We have a
Y
last
hacemos
amateur
llamar
fight.
inmediatamente a la esquina roja, Lara Acosta.
So we're going to start the pro card right now.
Oh. Laura Acosta.
Well, I'm sorry. I get that.
One
but-
final amateur fight.
We have
Yeah.
one last amateur fight. It's Michelle Casamayor against Laura. Michelle was not supposed to fight because she got sick from her stomach
Hacemos
yesterday.
llamado nuevamente la bienvenida ahí. Claro que sí, Laura Costa.
Now we have Laura.
Here she is. Bogota-born enters this fight with a record of 1-1. In her amateur debut last October, she notched a third-round TKO stoppage, but came up short in a split decision loss to Catherine Mendoza in April. She started training during the pandemic simply to cultivate a new hobby. She was a school teacher, but now she's a full-fledged mixed martial artist. Admitted she had some problems with the weight cut, but states that she is a lion who will devour everything in her way.
She's coming from Puños Libertarios. That is an academy that it's growing in Bogota, but they are fighting like for women's rights and to help vulnerable people to go in a good path with martial arts, through martial arts. And she is called La Profe because she's a child teacher. And yeah, I feel very represented with her because I studied that too, teaching for children, and it's not something that is opposite from martial arts or things like that. No, it's the opposite. It goes from the hand, and it's helping a lot of people to be better.
Llamado inmediato para Michelle La Barbie Casamayor.
Enter the Barbie. 26 years young, Michelle Casamayor brings an undefeated 2-0 record into tonight's events, both TKO victories. Her debut in June saw a 20-second KO, and in August, she generated a third-round stoppage to strikes. She says ahead of this fight, she's prioritized her athleticism, speed, and her fight IQ. The top 100 pound-for-pound Latin American women's fighter only started training a year ago, but is a lifelong practitioner of martial arts, as her parents are both judo instructors.
Let's see how she stands against Laura. Michelle did an amazing debut in her first fight. Her second fight was not very good for her cardio. She had a lot of trouble in that scenario, but let's see how she stands against a tough Laura in this fight, or last amateur fight of the evening.
She says her mother is her inspiration. You can see her mother right behind her on the walkout. Here is the Barbie, Michelle Casamayor.
Michelle's mother is a judo black belt.
Último combate amateur patrocinado por Wolk King en la categoría de los 57 kilogramos, presentando a la esquina azul desde la ciudad de Bogotá, representando a su equipo Puños Libertarios. Damas y caballeros, presentando, fuerte el aplauso, ella es Laura Acosta. Y ahora sale a pelear. Presentando a la esquina roja, damas y caballeros, de Venezuela, representando su equipo MMA Colombia. Damas y caballeros, un gusto presentarles. Ella es Michelle La Barbie Casamayor.
Third man inside the octagon.
Indicaciones de nuestro tercer hombre en la jaula.
Atenta a mis instrucciones, protege todo el tiempo, choque guante y lo desean. La esquina.
Third man in the octagon is Ruben Villa. You can see Michelle Casamayor in the pink, Laura Acosta in the black. One thing we have to mention, Michelle pulled out of this fight earlier today. We aren't really sure to the severity of what she's battling tonight.
She was definitely facing some adversity with her physical condition. She was a little sick, but she showed up and she's eager to fight.
That's why I think it's important, and yeah, these first fights are for that, for looking how to go with the weight cut, that it's not an easy matter. And yeah, she did well, and she said, okay, I feel better now, I'm going to fight, and that's very remarkable.
Michelle stinging early with a big right hand.
Michelle efficient! Oh! And she got a knockout again! Second knockout! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Offensive on
Oh my God! It's the second time she gets a knockout! She got a knockout!
We have to commend the finishing ability of the Barbie, Michelle Casamayor. When there was blood in the water, she finished that fight in a massive way.
She is amazing.
She definitely has some power on that right hand. The first fight she did ended the same way, by via knockout. She's doing an amazing job in her amateur MMA career. She said earlier on the interviews that she wants to be a professional fighter for Bellator, UFC, or any other major promotion. She's walking on a very straight, good path towards that.
With a finish like that, hard to deny the potential for Michelle Casamayor. She said in this fight camp she was really focusing on speed. Alejandra, she looked as quick as a cheetah out there tonight.
Yeah, she mentioned that she was struggling with commentaries for people that say that because she's a model, maybe she is not that good fighter, and she wants to say, hey, I'm a martial artist, and because I'm a model doesn't mean I can fight. And she just demonstrated that in a very good way.
Now she's calling her mother to join her in the cage and celebrate. She definitely made a point with this fight. She was saying earlier in her interviews that she wanted to prove everyone who doubted her wrong, and she definitely did tonight with another knockout. We see her mother in pink as well, hugging her, her wrestling coach.
The 100% finishing rate continues now, 3-0, 3 knockout wins. I mean, this is a woman who could potentially have a lot of tread on the mixed martial arts tires, Alejandra.
Definitely.
En nuestro último combate amateur de la noche, damas y caballeros, tenemos una ganadora. En el primer minuto del primer round, a los 27 segundos, la ganadora por nocaut técnico de Venezuela, de MMA Colombia, Michelle Casamayor.
Disappointing night at the office for Lara Acosta, but what a victory for Michelle Casamayor, and in such emphatic fashion. Definitely knockout of the night so far.
This is the first win for MMA Colombia in this Empire card. Let's remember that Hans Toro also fought representing MMA Colombia and lost, but now Michelle recovered on the win path.
I want to remark that she is from Venezuela, and she immigrated to Colombia to grow.
Y nos alistamos para el primer combate profesional de la noche.
She came with all
Vamos
their
a conocer las palabras de la cantora.
She teach for modeling. She works with that still.
And look at her posing and doing her model poses.
She's got the presence. She's got the ability to turn the modeling switch at any time.
Oh my God! Never doubt her again. Never doubt her again.
And that it's important for a fighter. You know, we are not just people who do techniques. We are a personality. We are something that people can yell about. And
especially
and
in the modern era with so many different social media platforms and how important it is to get eyes on your fights. I mean, somebody who has that ability to really market and advertise themselves will certainly go far.
I completely agree. Now, what we were expecting, this was our last amateur fight. Now we're going to switch to the professional fights. These fights are going to be ruled by 3 5-minute rounds, and let's see what comes with the professional fights.
Obviously, no shin guards to protect those legs in the professional rule set. It will be unadulterated violence from this point forward. We have 6 bouts remaining. Alejandra, what names pop off the page for you?
Well, I'm definitely waiting for this other girl fight that is an international one, big level, because we all know that Brazil have an amazing levels, most of all in jiu-jitsu, but we have a very experimented girl here, Nubia Nascimento. Yeah, she have 40 years now, but yeah, she had a lot of fights and a lot of experience that maybe lose kind of have still, but we all know her possibilities because it's one of the most important wrestlers in Argentina, and yeah, she always showed her will to fight MMA.
Luz Vazquez, the wrestling pioneer in Argentina, Olympic hopeful, and such accoladed experience. She started training at 5 years old, so she has about 29 years worth of combat sports time. Second at the Pan American Championships in 2015, third in 2022, and 8 bronze medals at the Pan American Games in 2021. Luz Vazquez, obviously, we know what the game plan is going to be, but Nubia Nascimento also pretty particular on the ground. 4 first-round submissions, 5 finishes overall in her 8 victories. You know, you got to look out for the arm triangles, the rear naked chokes, the kimuras. She's been able to hit every single one of those inside the octagon. Her average fight time is 10 minutes and 30 seconds. That co-main event is not going the distance.
Todavía no es pro. Pues como le vieron todos. No, mi chiste como yo.
Once again, tonight's fights are brought to you by Burger King. If you want a Whopper, no better place to stop her than Burger King.
I want to thank all the people who is here with us. With this event that it's making history here, it's creating opportunities because here MMA are young. It's a young sport that it's growing, and everyone here is trying to build better prospects and better academies and environment and trainers to export fighters and to represent the city, the country, and to go very far.
A couple of fun facts about Medellin, Colombia. Big population boom in the 1900s. Their infrastructure was not set up to handle that amount of people, so they invested in infrastructure. A lot of cable cars, public transportation, metro lines dot the city of Medellin. The favorite sport here is obviously football, as is many countries, but the second is horseback riding, which spurred on the production and development of different related equipment like horseback, or rather horseshoes.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about that sport, but I know that Colombia has riding BMX with Mariana
BMX, yep.
Pajón, that it's an Olympic champion. Also in skating, Olympic
Skating as in like figure skating or roller skating?
Roller skating.
Is that an Olympic sport?
Well, it's not an Olympic sport, but Colombia has a lot of representatives in roller skating.
Sure.
We have been like world champions multiple times, but the Olympic committee is evaluating to get the sport into the Olympic system.
That would certainly be something, seeing roller skating alongside the other Olympic sports. Talking about Medellin, Colombia, I mean, what are, in your opinions, some of the best things about this city?
So Medellin has been growing a lot. There's a lot of foreigners trying to come here and live here because the quality of life that the city provides is very good for every type of person. There's not a lot of discrimination. Violence, as it used to work before, doesn't work the same way anymore. everything has been getting a little better progressively. And also, it's a place where there's a lot of foreign investment that has been getting the city to, of course, grow a lot and to create more jobs and make like a better chance for people to live in this city.
I have to say one of the things that I feel more proud about Medellin is the social investment and in programs for people that like free sport programs. Actually, I start in these kind of programs because my family doesn't have to afford these kind of sports. So they gave me the opportunity to start in the sport, and I'm very grateful for that.
It's also very important to make a statement that these programs have been helping kids of various generations, and right now they're still going on. So I think they're trying to
Continuamos, damas y caballeros.
creating athletes for the future.
Vamos a encontrar por acá.
And just to get the kids out of different violent dynamics.
¿Cómo está la gente allá? Atrás, de la reja. ¿Cómo la están pasando? Ustedes de aquí, eso es. ¿Cómo la pasan? ¡Epa! Eso es Empire 3, damas y caballeros. ¿Cómo la están pasando por acá ustedes? ¿Cómo la están pasando muy bien? Dunkerque, nuestro principal sponsor. ¿Cómo la están pasando por acá, señores? Damas. Me encanta, me encanta. Este es nuestro primer combate profesional de la noche en la categoría de los 66 kilogramos. Hacemos llamado a la esquina roja, Francisco Hernández.
Here is Francisco Hernandez. He enters the cage with a record of 1 victory and 1 defeat, notching a first-round TKO in his debut and dropping a decision to Victor Moreno in December of 2021. 12 months removed from his prior outing, the PE teacher is prepared for a stand-up battle, but plans to wrestle. He says after this fight, he will celebrate with a beer, and then on Monday, it's back to training with Peggy.
I know this guy. He trains in MMA Colombia as well. He's one of the best strikers that MMA Colombia has. He came from a taekwondo base, and he started to adapt his kicking game into the MMA world. He was fighting first out of another training camp, but now he switched to MMA Colombia and turned a professional fighter. Let's see how this fight goes.
Rafael Cohen, professional debut from Medellin, Venezuela. He has 12 years of training, Muay Thai originally, then Jiu-Jitsu. He moved to Colombia about 4 years ago and simply fell in love with it. The decade of combat sports experience will certainly help him tonight. He's got a 6-year layoff of competition. He was active in 2021, but before that, he had not competed for 6 years. We have no knowledge of the record of those bouts, but we know that he's going to look to implement the jiu-jitsu skills here tonight. His MMA inspirations are GSP and Conor McGregor. We'll see if he can channel the skills of those athletes here tonight.
One thing I have to mention about Rafael Cohen is the struggle that he had to go through migrating from Venezuela to Colombia. He actually mentioned that he spent like 3 years without training because he had to work hard to get a better lifestyle.
He's also a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt, and he said that he was very prepared to fight against a very skillful kicker like Tacha, like Francisco Hernandez. So let's see how Rafael displays his skill set against Francisco Hernandez in this professional MMA bout.
Wow. Athletic entrance to the cage from Rafael.
Primer combate profesional de la noche. Damas y caballeros, presentando a la esquina roja, representando su equipo MMA Colombia de la ciudad de Medellín,
Damas y caballeros, Francisco Hernández. Ahora sale a pelear peleando en la esquina azul, representando su equipo World MMA de la ciudad de Medellin. Él es Rafael Oviedo. Indicaciones de nuestro tercer hombre en la jaula.
Muchachos, ya conocen las reglas. Quiero una pelea limpia, protejan todo el tiempo. Choque, guante y lo desean.
3 rounds de 5 minutos cada uno.
Our first professional bout of the evening, Rafael Cohen and Francisco Hernandez, seconds away from occurring.
Both fighters locked in. And we have action.
Francisco, incredibly athletic physique. Big leg kick right there. Again, no shin guards in these pro bouts, Alejandra.
Yeah, I think they're both looks very athletic and very fast. They are studying each other in this first round.
Francisco controlling the center of the cage. Rafael moving towards his left side.
Each gentleman in that orthodox stance. You can see Francisco controlling the center, but Rafael on his bicycle whiffs on that leg kick. Rafael Cohen has been working on the boxing ahead of this with Professor Will at Wild Boxing, so we can anticipate some hands from him tonight.
Also, Will was my coach too. He is black belt now. Jiu-Jitsu black belt. So I think Francisco is real complete.
Thunderous leg kick right there from Francisco. You could hear that in the bleachers. Now poking with that jab, engaging his range. Francisco looks like he's trying to set something up with Peggy.
Francisco is being very patient. Rafael is moving all around the cage. Francisco working on those leg kicks.
Rafael till now it's almost unable to go forward because Francisco is using very good pressure on him.
Stand switch from Rafael, those 2 leg kicks.
That was a great high kick.
Rafael stumbling backwards. Another leg kick from Francisco.
And he's relaxed. He's just going and looking what he can do.
Rafael has been establishing some movement patterns, moving towards his left side, surrounding the cage. And Francisco is using that to kick him. Switching levels, leg kicks and high kicks.
Rafael having some
He's chopping those legs off.
You can already see some swelling and discoloration on that calf. We've praised the BJJ of Rafael, but we need to also, acknowledge he's got to get it to the ground to use those skills.
He looks very good. Wow.
The sound of that middle kick.
And he's understanding his power and he's like administrating it.
This has been one-way traffic for Francisco Hernandez. The Medellin fighter has had so much success. Rafael unable to do much. Once again, tonight's fights are brought to you by Burger King Colombia. Another leg kick lands.
Man, what a big kicks. Boy,
Francisco, a little overzealous right there, Peggy.
Whenever they try to get a little arrogant, that's when they start slipping around. I think he has to keep his posture and keep on doing his work. Calm.
Oh! Big front kick, Francisco swarming. Rafael turning, that's it.
And we got a stoppage.
Oh!
And we got a stoppage.
We got him here. Francisco Hernandez notches the big TKO in round number 1. Set it up perfectly, hammering downstairs with the leg kicks, and then swarming for the standing TKO.
Francisco with some vicious power. Both his kicks and his punches were very powerful. He's displaying a lot of physical ability as well. And now he's showing respect. That's amazing about these events. Fighters get inside a cage, They exchange blows, and then they just show respect because they know the sacrifice that it takes to be inside of that place.
Oh, big situation there of his cornerman.
I think it was a very clean TKO here. He noted from the beginning, and also Rafael, his top, but he started feeling that power came from those kicks, and yeah, I think was a good end of this fight.
I've got to say that Francisco's last fight was against Victor Moreno in Bogota. Victor is now fighting in Mexico for the Lux promotion, and he's doing an amazing job. Francisco was giving him a very good fight, but was controlled with some takedowns due to his, he was like a little nervous, so he kept going forward. Now we could see smart.
Estos son los resultados de este combate, primer combate profesional de la noche, Empire 3, por el patrocinio de Burger King. Hay un ganador en este combate, damas y caballeros, en el primer round con un tiempo de 3 minutos 20 segundos. Aquí tenemos por nocaut técnico, Francisco Hernández.
Again, excellent performance.
Especial entrevista con Alejandra Azul Lara en el campeonato primer combate profesional del Empire 3.
Second fight for Team MMA Colombia tonight. Now we have Francisco with Alejandra Lara.
Buenas noches, Francisco. Acabaste de darnos una increíble pelea. Te viste muy confiado, tranquilo desde el inicio. ¿Cómo te sentiste?
Oh, súper bien, yo entreno con el mejor equipo de Colombia, eso era obvio. Nosotros somos los mejores, nosotros entrenamos todos los días, 3 veces, con Michael, con Hans, con Damián. Nosotros tenemos un equipo de lijuet, somos los mejores.
¿Qué crees que sigue para ti después de esto?
Lo que sea, yo quiero pelear, si dentro de 8 días hay pelea, yo quiero pelear. Si ahorita hay pelea, yo quiero pelear, yo quiero pelear y pelear y pelear.
¿Hay alguien que quieras agradecer, algo que quieras agregar?
¡Hey! ¿Dónde es mi 4 hermanos? Me la gané, mi cerveza 4 hermanos. Especialmente le quiero agradecer a ellos que son parte de que eso haga posible, de que eso sea posible, de Burger King. En especial Damián Martínez, que está ahí, pum, 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 apoyando todo el tiempo para que sus peleadores se muevan, para que tengan peleas, para que los eventos se den. Muchas gracias a las personas, ¿verdad?
Muchas gracias.
Francisco with some words saying that he's thankful to Burger King, Cuatro Hermanos, and Damian for making this possible.
I'm also thankful to Burger King. No better place to grab a quick bite to eat on the way home from work. Very affordable, good quality. No better burger than Burger King.
I'm just eager to get my Whopper as soon
Continuamos
as
con
it's
el
ready.
segundo combate profesional de la noche, Empire 3 y en la categoría de los 61 kilogramos, hacemos llamado a la esquina roja, Gustavo Arrieta.
Gustavo Arrieta, once again, an individual who was a later addition to the card. We weren't able to get much time with him. Pega, do you know much about Gustavo?
I do not know much at all about Gustavo, but I do know a little bit about Juan Pablo, his opponent. Juan Pablo is originally from Bogota. He finished his training camp in Medellin to adapt to the conditions of this place. So let's see what Gustavo has to bring against Juan Pablo that was here preparing for his fight. He's a late addition to this Empire III MMA card.
I have seen fighting Gustavo Arrieta before. I'm not sure about his background, but he is a very active fighter, and he was moving around. I'm not sure if we were in Mexico, but yeah, he always is showing and trying to get more fights and be more active.
Gustavo Arrieta sporting a mohawk here tonight, looking like a warrior. He's got a big challenge in front of him again. Juan
Pablo is doing his professional MMA debut today. He did a good MMA career, and now he debuts in the Empire professional cage.
Tapology's top 40 amateur bantamweight and featherweight. Juan Pablo Gomez seeks to go 3-0 in 2022, coming off of a big second-round submission of Richard Calderon in August and a split decision win over Fredy Serrano in March. With 4 finishes in 5 wins, we can definitely expect violence in his pro debut. He articulated that this fight camp was rigorous, but feels strong and prepared to further build his notoriety in the Latin American fight scene. Juan Pablo Gomez finishes fights. Alejandra.
Yes, I just trained with Juan Pablo, who came here to train, and that talks about that will to grow and to experiment new things. It's not easy to go to a different city and start from zero, but the people who is ready to do that is because it's going for something bigger.
I completely agree with you, Alejandra. Whenever you get out of your comfort zone, it means that you are looking for something bigger and you have a bigger purpose that makes you be comfortable by getting out of that comfort zone. So let's see if this fight, as all the fights we've had before, is going to be fireworks. I do think this is going to be a good fight. I saw Juan Pablo training a lot lately in Medellin, as I was telling you. So let's see what surprise might Gustavo bring, or how Juan Pablo does on his MMA debut today, on his pro MMA debut.
Juan Pablo Gomez, 2 arm bars in his career, 1 in the first round, 1 in the second, and 2 rear naked chokes, both in round number 2.
Corrimos en el octágono en la esquina azul, esperamos la esquina roja. Juan Pablo Gomez.
His lone loss was by armbar in May of 2019 to Elmir Said. Outside of that, he's been picture perfect. We are currently waiting for Juan Pablo Gomez. Peggy, once again, Gomez. 6 fights as an amateur. He's got a lot of experience.
He did a good MMA amateur career. Let's see how he transitions to the professional scene. He says he wants to fight on big promotions as well. It's every fighter's dream to fight on the big stages. So let's see how he handles this Empire III stage today in front of the audience of Medellin, Colombia, and El Retiro in the Knockout Beer Festival.
Once again, we're looking at a fighter who took this fight with short notice. That is Gustavo Arrieta.
Tercer llamado a la esquina roja. Juan Pablo Gomez.
But he felt prepared for this because he's a fighter and he's gonna prove himself here.
Where do these guys go? How do we lose?
We cannot see what's happening behind us.
Third call out for Juan Pablo Gomez. Seems like he might be enjoying the Knockout Beer Festival a little bit too much in Vegas.
I hope he has not been enjoying the beer festival. I hope he leaves that for after the fight. But let's see where he is. Everyone's expecting him. His opponent is already in the cage and ready to rumble.
Tonight's fights are brought to you by Legion Equipment. As you can see, the gloves and shorts of many of our athletes tonight are provided by Legion. Alejandra, what do you make of the quality of Legion's equipment?
And here he is. We have Juan Pablo walking into the Empire cage.
I think it's very good, by the way.
Finally, Juan Pablo Gomez races the Empire MMA stage. Once again, 5-1 as an amateur. Here he is making the pro debut.
Saying hi to the audience. Walking with his coaches from Legend Fight Club. Directly from Bogota.
I can say it's a very competitive guy, and it's interesting how athletes from Bogota are moving to Medellin to train and vice versa, because we all need to grow, and to do that it's important to know each other and to go with different trainers, and it's what most of us are trying to do.
The only time Juan Pablo Gomez has gone the distance was in March when he fought at 145 pounds. Tonight's fight takes place at 135 pounds.
I think this is very important for the Colombian scenario to have these type of spaces for athletes to fight. As Alejandra was saying, we have to improve by training with other people. The MMA scene in Colombia is not very big. It has been growing progressively, but now we start to have access to these amazing events for fighters to create their careers.
En la categoría de los 61 kilogramos presentando a la esquina azul. De Yopal, Córdoba, representando a su equipo Game Club. Damas y caballeros, en la esquina azul, él es Gustavo el Cocinero Arrieta. Ahora sale a pelear en la esquina roja de la ciudad de Bogotá, representando a su academia Legends Resistencia Fight Club en los 61 kilogramos. Damas y caballeros, él es Juan Pablo Gómez.
Juan Pablo Gomez
Indicación de
is
estar
wearing the
entrenando.
orange gloves. You can see Gustavo Arrieta in the charcoal shorts with the yellow gloves.
Por favor, estén atentos a mis indicaciones. Si desean chocar los guantes, es el momento.
Referee Jorge Rojas in control of this professional MMA bout.
We saw a lot of respect between these fighters. I'm always glad to see that.
It seems like Juan Pablo has a big fan base outside the cage, and we have action.
Good touch gloves. Gomez takes the center. A lot of distance between these two fighters at the beginning of round number one. Once again, tonight's fights are brought to you by Burger King.
Both fighters with an orthodox stance, studying each other, taunting each other, looking for the opportunity to throw punches.
Oh, Gustavo Arrieta jumps into that combination. Good defense by Juan Pablo.
It's going very aggressive, and yeah, he's going with big shots.
And Gustavo starts hyping the fight, going forward, while we have a more smart and counter-attacking Juan Pablo.
Gustavo Arrieta is swinging hammers in this first round. He wants to take Juan Pablo Gomez's head off. Big right hand, partially blocked by the guard.
Yes, I think Juan Pablo is going carefully and studying what Gustavo is doing, because it's a risk to spend a lot of energy in the first round.
Talking about a lot of energy. I mean, Gustavo is winging that right hand. Peggy not really connecting, though, on many occasions.
Wow.
He's throwing that overhand, that right overhand, looking for a power shot. But we have a Juan Pablo with a very good composure. He's got a good guard. He's working. So let's see if Gustavo can be more effective and efficient with his strikes.
I think his head movement saved him from some punches from Juan Pablo.
Big shot to the body and closing with a check left hook upstairs. Gustavo Arrieta, in my opinion, has the power advantage early.
Whenever he punches, he moves his head out of the center, avoiding Juan Pablo's punches. Working with the calf kick. Juan Pablo switching stance.
Big shot from Pablo. Gomez steps outside of that pocket exchange. He's commanded the middle for the majority of this first round, but not really being effective with volume in terms of offense.
Yeah, Gustavo is moving around a lot, is not staying the same point. It's helping him to avoid the Juan Pablo's punches.
Oh, big shot right there from Gustavo.
We can definitely see Gustavo going forward and looking what he can do to create some damage with those punches.
Juan Pablo Gomez ties up once again. He's got 4 submissions in his 5 amateur wins. This is not where Gustavo wants to be.
Oh, and he got mounted.
Big mistake right there from Gustavo. Juan Pablo Gomez going to work.
And we might get a stoppage.
Oh!
Juan Pablo Gomez with the TKO in his professional MMA debut. He's celebrating with his corner right now. Very happy, very emotional. He won his MMA debut against a tough opponent in just a matter of minutes.
What a costly mistake by Gustavo Arrieta to go for that judo throw. Ends up pulling Juan Pablo Gomez into full mount. I mean, terrible decision. It costed him the fight.
I agree with you, Ben. He went for that hip toss, and it played against him. He ended up on the mount position, and Juan Pablo capitalized that position with some vicious ground and pound that ended this professional MMA bout. Amazing work by Juan Pablo Gomez from Bogota, representing Legend Fight Club. Also, I have to say, Ben, this guy Gustavo was a fighter that came to this fight on a short notice. So there's also a lot of effort and courage in those decisions. It was a good fight for the audience, and Juan Pablo ended up getting the win on his first pro fight.
We'll send it inside tomorrow for the official decision.
Damas y caballeros, en el primer round con tiempo 3 minutos 2 segundos, el ganador por nocaut técnico en la esquina roja, Juan Pablo García.
I mean, visibly emotional.
Juan Pablo Gomez.
Juan Pablo Gomez is so happy and proud. Here he is doing a victory.
Now he's celebrating like Cristiano Ronaldo. He's happy, emotional that he got his win tonight. His pro MMA debut by a beautiful and spectacular way.
Alejandra, Lara inside for the post-fight interview.
Let's see what Juan Pablo has to say.
Hola Juan Pablo, gracias por regalarnos esta pelea que acabas de tener. Vimos que en el primer round de pronto recibiste muchos golpes. ¿Cómo te sentiste?
Bueno, es mi debut como profesional. De pronto un poco de saber qué iba a pasar, ¿no? Los guantes más pequeños, patadas un poco más fuertes, ¿no? Era lo que me tenía como muy alerta. No le tengo miedo, pero es de respeto, ¿no? Entonces, por eso estaba un poquito muy limitado, estaba mirando bien las oportunidades. Mi contrincante cometió un error y en este juego el que comete el error pierde, ¿no? Y pues ustedes se dieron cuenta.
Sabemos que para esta pelea tuviste diferentes opciones de competidores. Gustavo lo tomó de último momento. ¿Algo que quieras decir para él? ¿Y qué te deja esta pelea?
Claro, sí, Gustavo, hey, un guerrero, gracias por aceptar la pelea. La verdad, venía de un campamento muy largo. Gracias a MMA Colombia por todo el apoyo. Al profe Damián, Juan José, a todos. Legend Resistencia y pues nada, mi contrincante, muchas gracias, la verdad. Quería debutar, quería sentir que es ser profesional y se siente muy bien y gracias a todos.
¿Qué ves para ti de aquí en adelante?
Bueno, pues creo que este gran evento se vienen más, ¿no? Y cada vez vamos a llenar más las plazas con el público tan hermoso que es usted, ¿no? Un aplauso para ustedes.
Muchas gracias. Continuamos con más peleas para esta noche de Empire 3.
Amazing words by Juan Pablo. He was saying he did a very long training camp and he was looking for an opponent.
Con el patrocinio de Dunkerque nos acercamos al cuarto combate profesional de la noche, damas y caballeros. Y hacemos llamado inmediatamente a Jeisson, Bayona.
I will refrain from giving my opening monologue for Jeisson Bayona until I see him. Juan Pablo Gomez still on the stage. They really did not give us a moment to dissect that post-fight interview. How did Juan Pablo Gomez seem?
He was so happy because he said it was his first professional fight. So he was nervous of how it feels to fight with small gloves and that thing.
Here is Jeisson Bayona, 100% finishing rate across his amateur and professional career. Jeisson enters the cage tonight with 3 first-round knockouts as a pro and 2 rear naked chokes as an amateur. One thing's for sure, Jeisson Bayona knows how to find a stoppage. He started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at 14 years young, and over time, fully transitioned into MMA. He wants to leave Colombia as a top mixed martial artist and pursue a better life for his son and his family. He expects a war tonight with BJJ ace William Wolk, acknowledging he's a tough task, but affirms that he is tougher. Jeisson Bayona has never seen a third round. I don't anticipate he'll see one tonight.
Jeisson Bayona, it's a fighter from Yopal, Casanare, that it's a region that doesn't have a lot of fighters. So he had to work really hard to be in the place that he are right now, representing his city and yeah.
Here he is, the lone American on Empire MMA 3, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu prodigy William Wolk makes his professional debut following a 4-1 record in pro grappling. He trains alongside some of the very best in Chris and Kyle Dawkins in Philadelphia under head coach Will Martinez. His lone amateur bout was a first-round rear naked choke in 2019, but he struggled to find opponents, so here he is entering enemy territory tonight. He has not competed in combat sports since November of 2020. Only head coach famed Will Martinez knows what to expect, but we can assume it'll be violent.
For sure, he was very confident.
Programas, damas y caballeros, desde Casanare, representando a su grupo, Presidente Jiu-Jitsu Colombia, en la esquina sur, él es, damas y caballeros, Jeisson Bayona. Ahora, presentando en la esquina roja, sale a pelear. Desde Filadelfia, Pensilvania, damas y caballeros, representando su gimnasio, Martínez, Brasileño Jiu-Jitsu. Él es, fuerte el aplauso, Julio. Indicaciones de nuestro tercer hombre en la jaula.
Jóvenes, quiero un combate limpio. Por favor, estén atentos a mis indicaciones. Si desean chocar los guantes, es el momento.
And we're heading into our 4th professional MMA fight.
William Wolk and Jeisson Bayona in our next professional bout of the evening. Wolk takes the center early, big right hand, whiffs Jeisson circling.
We see a little of advantage in that reach with Wolk.
Wolk with a little more reach and better control of the center of the cage. That was a good kick by Bayona.
Oh, Jeisson Bayona stunned William Wolk. Shoots, driving Jeisson to the side of the cage.
Very good defense from Bayona. That takedown, but yeah.
Wolk got the takedown with that ankle pick.
It was only a matter of time when William Wolk would get this to the mat. Let's see if Jeisson Bayona can survive the early grappling onslaught.
This was one of those things that I was expecting from this fight because they both had, like, we can say Bayona had, like, more fights, but the level here in Colombia is different. Like, the wrestling level that came William Wolk with is like this.
It
can
is,
be,
as his training partner said, suffocating. He's not giving Jeisson an inch. Beautiful shots right there from William Wolk. Peggy, what does Jeisson Bayona need to do?
I think he has to get an overhook with that hand and try to create space for him to stand up and improve his position. Wolk is looking to pin his chin down with his head and create a lot of pressure with that for him to be able to punch him and create better angles. We see Wolk creating that pressure with his chin.
Beautiful step over by William. Now in half guard. Excellent control here through the first round.
For me, it looks maybe that Jeisson doesn't know very good what to do. And yeah, what do you say about getting that underhook?
I agree with you. He's trying to hug him instead of creating space to get out. I don't think it's going to be very, very good. He's saying to the referee he's good. He's doing okay. I think William Wolk is being very smart with his energy. He's not using all of his strength and power right now, but rather controlling his opponent on the mat.
Beautiful right hands here from William Wolk. And again, one thing to mention is he is such an accredited professional grappler that he makes people look like amateurs when they're in there with him. Absolutely limiting the success of Jeisson Bayona here tonight.
Yeah, now Jeisson Bayona is moving his hips, but he needs to be careful with that choke.
Now William Wolk has a headlock, isolating his head and arm.
Jeisson Bayona defending nicely that first submission attempt. William Wolk mercilessly working his way through the defenses of Jeisson Bayona.
I think for him, it's happening something that for a lot of fighters happen, that you go to fight, but not with any specific strategy, and just to see what happens, but this can happen.
It's very hard to win a fight when you don't have a game plan that you try to execute.
Oh.
And now we can see
Jeisson Bayona
trying to get up and scrambling.
Yeah, we can say.
Oh, and he's getting an underhook, but he ended up in bottom position.
Back to the mat we go. Jeisson Bayona once again in the grip of William Wolk. Now hammering to the body. Wolk has had an excellent first round so far.
Wolk looking to get rid of those hooks on his right leg while he punches with his left hand from the ground and pound.
All of William Wolk's professional grappling fights have been decision victories. He has not stopped any of those gentlemen, but he does have a win over UFC's Mike Easton, veteran of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and he's showing some serious veteran moves here tonight.
And even if Jeisson Bayona is experimented and it's strong, if he doesn't have the technique to counteract that pressure, it's going to be very, very difficult to go out of that position.
He's getting punished from this position, and the referee is looking if he's able to defend.
Jeisson Bayona's first professional loss came in August against Juan Carlos Miranda. It was a second-round knockout. We'll see if he makes it to the second round tonight.
We can listen to William Wolk's coach telling him that the round is about to be over, for him to be smart and save some energy for the remaining rounds.
Beautiful first 5 minutes for Philadelphia's William Wolk. If you're head coach Will Martinez, you are happy with what your pupil is doing. What does Jeisson Bayona need to do in this next round?
We definitely saw some superior grappling by William Wolk. I think Bayona has to keep a distance and exchange some striking if he wants to do something better in the fight, because now we could see that in grappling terms, William Wolk is way above in terms of control and dominance.
Jeisson Bayona is obviously frustrated for this round, but he needs to configure a different strategy. And yeah, it's very courageous taking this big fight for him. And as I said before, he had a lot of remarkable goals. And yeah, it's trying his best to be one of those who are representing Yopal. That is, I think it's the only one or in an international event.
Jeisson Bayona not looking defeated. He's looking disciplined and determined. William Wolk, on the other hand, taking some heavy breaths ahead of round two, Peggy.
I think sometimes Americans and foreigners are not used to the altitude and the cold. Let's remember we are very, very high right now. And the cold, it's also a factor that it's not very good when you are allowed to get warm and fight.
William Wolk getting brushed down here with a t-shirt. Round number 2, we are ready to go. Jeisson Bayona and William Wolk. Have to imagine Jeisson's going to come out aggressive and try to leverage the amount of time he has on the feet.
Yes, I think William Wolk looks a little bit more tired, but it's like Peggy said, it's difficult to get used to this air.
Jeisson Bayona is a fight finisher. He knows how to find that stoppage. Early shot by Wolk. You can see he's reaching for those ankles and gets it. Jeisson once again on his back. William Wolk going to work.
Now we see good passing guard skills. Back take with both hooks in.
This is bad news for Jeisson Bayona.
He's looking for the rear naked choke.
Wolk.
It's tight, and he taps.
Tap. Wow. From Philadelphia, William Wolk submits Jeisson Bayona in the early frames of round number 2. I mean, once he got to the back, it was clinical, it was cerebral, and it was a rear naked choke stoppage.
Once he got both hooks in, he was able to push with his hips and flatten his opponent. He got a good, clean, tight hold of his neck, and he finished with the rear naked choke. He said he was an avid grappler, and he showed some very good grappling skills in this match.
Well, I believe William realized in that first round that he had so much control that he had to finish the fight, and I appreciate that he doesn't start just controlling and letting the fight there, but punishing and finishing with that clean submission.
Representing America in a big way tonight, the United States goes 1-0 on Empire MMA III. You can see the cornerman entering the octagon. We send it inside for the official decision to Mauro Jimenez.
We have with William Wolk, Colombian MMA fighter Chiqui Miranda from Bogota.
Big banner right there from William Wolk. You can see the OnlyFans sponsorship among several others.
En el segundo round, a los 33 segundos, damas y caballeros, vía Mata León, el ganador en la esquina roja, Julio.
Amazing performance by William Wolk, winning via rear naked choke.
Alejandra Lara is inside the octagon for the post-fight interview.
Hi, William. We know you had a long time expecting to fight. How do you feel coming to Colombia and taking this fight?
I feel great. I love Colombia. Thank you to Hector, Will Martinez, Empire MMA. I need a beer.
What do you expect, or what do you see about MMA here in Colombia?
MMA in Colombia is a growing sport. I saw a lot of good stuff today. It's only going to get bigger.
How you like this place and being fighting here? The air, do you struggle with that?
I love Colombia. I want to come back. Hopefully Hector will bring me out for my next fight. I love this place. I love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Y continuamos con más peleas aquí en Empire 3.
You can see William Wolk eager to return to
Así es, Alejandra. La bellísima Alejandra.
He said he
Lara
needed a beer.
Bellator.
He definitely deserves the beer that he
Le pedimos que
wants.
se quede aquí en la jaula porque es una de las invitadas en esta noche para una foto especial que vamos a tomar para presentarles las personas que nos han representado en los Juegos Olímpicos y otras plataformas a nivel mundial. Así que para esta foto, para presentarles a estas figuras, así hemos llamado
por Zamora, Hans Toro, campeón panamericano de lucha. Bienvenido a la jaula de Empire 3.
Peggy, could you clarify what Mauro Jimenez is
Seguimos invitando.
Mauro is calling someone to speak about that are empowering us today.
Bienvenido.
Now we see Hans Toro, Pan American champion, who fought earlier on the card, about to say some words. Besides him, there's another Colombian selection wrestler.
Bellator. Bienvenido, por favor. Gracias, señor William, de Bellator. Continuamos. Hacemos llamado al señor Damián Martínez. El profesor Damián Martínez, por favor.
Damián Martínez,
Colombia,
head coach of MMA Colombia.
A la jaula de Empire 3. Por supuesto, también hacemos llamado al señor Julio Horta, que también está en los Juegos Olímpicos representando a Colombia.
Mauro calling Julian Horta, another wrestler from Colombia. He's been a representation of Colombia in the Olympic Games.
Por supuesto,
and he also won the Pan Am Championship.
Y mayor representante colombiano en la UFC, el profesor Fredy Serrano. Fuerte el aplauso.
Fredy Serrano joins them. His fellow wrestlers and his fellow head coaches.
A la jaula de Matchmaker y la cordial bienvenida. Presentación oficial en esta noche de nuestra representante femenina en Bellator. Fuerte el aplauso, Alejandra, Lara, Azul, por favor.
Now Alejandra joins them. And you can listen to the people cheering for Alejandra.
Claro que sí, nuestro director general en esta noche, el señor Héctor Castro, a quien le damos un fuerte aplauso por dirigir Empire.
And we have our promoter, Héctor Castro, joining the athletes and head coaches.
Fotógrafos en esta noche. Y yo soy Mauro Jiménez Morales, muchísimo gusto.
Very important people for the Colombian sports scenario, especially combat sports and mixed martial arts.
They are the new generation of MMA in Colombia, the foundation of what is to come. We've seen how America has adopted and how MMA has become mainstream in that country. Now it's time for Colombia to follow.
Every band, I was recently fighting in the States, and there's a very big fan base for the sport. It's something that has become a little more mainstream, but in Colombia, as I was telling you before, it's getting progressively bigger. Let's see how the sport develops with the presence of these type of magnificent events where these type of fighters can expose their careers internationally.
Weren't you supposed to fight tonight?
I was supposed to fight tonight. I got injured last weekend in a jiu-jitsu tournament. I had an injury on my ankle, but I was eager to fight. I'm eager to fight. I just want to recover, do some therapy, and get back into training so that we could see if there's another local promotion that is interested in getting me fights.
Maybe a small upgrade from eating punches is calling punches. You're doing a great job on commentary tonight, Peggy.
It's my first time calling fights. Definitely something that I was eager to do. I love this sport, as I always say, and it's just not to be inside of the cage participating. Here we're also living in very close, and it's amazing just to see how the sport can grow and how you see the display of amazing skill sets by different fighters and different academies.
Absolutely. Now, Alejandra, Lara just recognized one of the blocks of Colombian mixed martial arts. What did you make of several of the other individuals inside that cage with you? Hector Castro, you've got head coach Will Martinez from Philadelphia. This new era of Colombian mixed martial arts, how does it feel to be a part of it?
I feel really proud of being a pioneer in this, because in the moment I started fighting, there wasn't even competition, you know. I was expecting to get fights, but I spent like 2 years with no fighting because there wasn't many girls to fight with. But there was a process that started from 0 to 100 in I think years, but it felt like short time, and was just like by myself, because I had to go alone all over the world and fight very tough people and say, okay, I'm ready for this, even when I didn't have the facilities in general, not even a trainer or nutritionist and things like that most of people think are so normal.
In America, absolutely. Everyone's got a nutritionist. Everyone has access to, or rather, most people have access to these resources. In Colombia, entirely different. What does
Ese es nuestro quinto combate profesional de la noche con el patrocinio de Dunkerque. Empire 3, hacemos llamado por favor a la esquina azul. Iván Londono.
Iván Londono from Zona de Combate entering the cage.
Iván Londono, the undefeated professional boxer, aims to continue his combat sport success with a second pro MMA win here at Empire MMA III. His debut in July saw a second-round slam KO over Duvan Lopez. That lethal finish was created through 5 years of specifically training in MMA. While he respects Alexandre, he wants to destroy his opponent. An individual lured to combat at a young age, Iván frequently fought at school before discovering the sport and structure of boxing. The rest so far has been history, as we will witness the next stage of Iván's career right here, right now.
Actually, I was in that second fight he had when he won the slam, commentating actually in Spanish, but I was amazed by he doesn't have a lot of experience, but have very good aggressiveness, and yeah, he wants and he respects his opponent, but I'm sure he prepared himself well for this fight.
Hacemos llamado a la esquina roja. Alexandre Berteloot.
Now the sniper entering the cage. Alexandre Berteloot.
I'm waiting until I see him. I'm not starting my monologue until he's walking.
I mean, it's interesting how all of us, we are all learning and in the progress are doing this big fight and international event, because there are so many details that you have to go with.
Definitely a lot of learning that's being done. Here is Alexandre Berteloot, born in France. He hit 2-1 with a 100% finishing rate entering tonight. 2 submissions, 2 knockouts across his combat sports career. Interestingly enough, he hates hurting others, but is determined to prove himself against tough opponents and aims to become one of the best in the world. He's trained all around South America, spending time in Peru and Brazil before finding the slice of life that is Colombia. He says he's inspired by Jose Aldo and Wanderlei Silva. Let's see if the killer instinct of those fighters shines through Berteloot tonight.
Definitely a very, very interesting fighter. He always makes his fights very dynamic and fast. And we can see Iván coming from 2 wins, ready to face Alexandre inside the Empire cage.
his professional career, he has a first-round KO and a heel hook in round 3. Well-rounded is the freshman tonight as he enters the octagon. One interesting thing to note, Alexandre Berteloot is Muslim, his family is Catholic.
Quinto combate profesional de la noche, Empire 3. Desde Medellin, representando su gimnasio centro de combate, damas y caballeros, y con estas pisadas, eres en la esquina azul, Londono. Ahora sale a pelear en la esquina roja, damas y caballeros, desde Francia, representando a su academia MMA Colombia, damas y caballeros, él es Alexandre
Berteloot. Alexandre Berteloot mounting the cage for his tonight.
Hyping his audience, hyping his people. We can see the rival Londono focusing on Alex. They want to showing respect. Now they're locked in and ready to fight.
This fight will take place 135 pounds, both bantamweights, aiming for a finish here tonight at Empire MMA 3, brought to you by Burger King.
Southpaw for Alex.
Oh, Berteloot a little confident early, almost tossed him.
A little too cocky, a little too cocky.
He wasn't expecting that.
Alexandre Berteloot has spent a lot of time with his family here this fight week. You can tell how much he loves them and how much he wants to support them. Glance for Ivan Londono. Both guys downloading data right now, Alejandra.
Yeah, they are studying each other. Now Berteloot knows he cannot sleep because he can be waked up.
Both looking for the right moment. Alex looking for a single leg attempt.
Deep on that single, you can see Ivan Londono.
He lifts him up, and he got a slam.
Berteloot brings him up high and sends him crashing down to
Beautiful single leg, Daniel Cormier style against the cage. High crotch takedown. Now working on the punches.
Ivan Londono controlling the posture of Berteloot with that right hand over the head, struggling to regain his guard.
Yeah, I can tell too the tough fighter that Alexandre is, and yeah, he's using all his strength. He's working very hard, very disciplined, and he doesn't have any doubt that he could control Ivan in this fight.
Working a lot of pressure right there. Now he's using his hand to push his opponent's face and creating a lot of pressure with his head on his opponent's chin.
Beautiful work by Berteloot. C'est la vie, as the French will say, working his way into the half guard of Ivan Londono, now posturing up.
Oh.
Butterfly guard right here for Ivan Unpegi.
We can see Alex trying to get past El Rifle's legs.
Wow.
And working on those ground and pound punches.
Beautiful work by Berteloot, keeping Ivan on the ground now, hammering with some nice shots on top, Alejandra.
Yes, Ivan looks a little bit desperate, and it's moving well, but Berteloot pressure, it's very, very good.
Hey, muchachos.
Look at that beautiful work by Berteloot. Ivan Londono getting swarmed. Berteloot isolating that right arm, hammering away.
We get the mount, half guard. It's not a very comfortable half guard position when you don't have your right leg framing with your knee.
Actually, this position is, for me and a lot of fighters, the best one to control the opponent's hip and to punish.
Malfunction with the glove of Ivan Londono. I'm curious if they'll return it back to the position on the ground or if they'll start standing. Wow, Ivan Londono with a gift from God, having that fight getting stood up. Alexandre Berteloot understands the grappling advantage he has. I expect him to shoot soon.
We see Alex very calm, working on those trips.
It's also
Knees to the body.
Very good punches, but yeah, he knows.
Oh! Beautiful double leg takedown by Alex the Sniper.
The Frenchman with the full power into that takedown. Now posturing up Ivan Londono. Really struggling to get his game plan going, Alejandra.
Wow.
Playing around, doing backflips.
He tried to do it and it was very good, but Ivan doesn't let him.
Back to the mat we go after a brief striking exchange. Juan Umpegi, what do you make into this first round?
Alex is definitely very confident, a little overconfident, trying to pass his opponent's guard by jumping on a backflip, but he's as confident as he can. He got a single leg and he's working again.
Oh, heel hook attempt right here from Alexander Berteloot. Referee.
What happened? We got a tap. We got a via heel hook submission tap. His opponent's corner was saying that time was already up, and now they're approaching the cage.
A lot of controversy going on right here.
Okay. Yeah, he's a little hurt.
Alexandre Berteloot submits Ivan Londono in the closing moments of round number one. Bit of controversial stoppage right there. You can tell that Ivan was protesting that. Would love to hear what the confusion was. Either way you cut that cake, a really dominant performance by Alexander Berteloot. I mean, the grappling he displayed was absolutely stellar.
I think there were two moments in the fight that were a little controversial. When they were stood up, you couldn't even tell why was that. And this stoppage for sure was very controversial. The opponent of Alex's corner was saying that the time was up, but officials hadn't ruled that the time was up, and Alexander got the heel hook submission on Rifle Londono.
Good to see respect shown by both competitors at the conclusion of what was a fun one down at 135. We head inside to Mauro Jimenez for the official decision.
Sí, señores, en el primer round, el minuto cuarto con los 57 segundos, vía sumisión tobillo, el ganador en esta esquina roja, Alexandre Berteloot.
Alexander with his team partners.
Colombia notches another win tonight. That moves their official record to, I believe, 3-1 tonight. Alejandra Lara is inside the cage for the post-fight interview. Once again, brought to you by Burger King.
Let's see what Alex has to say.
Bueno, Alex, felicidades por esta gran victoria. Vimos que al principio tal vez te sorprendiste un poco que con él.
Sí, la verdad yo quería ir arriba, pero como esta noche tenía a mi niña conmigo, tenía que acabar rápido para verla.
Cuéntale a las personas que están aquí con nosotros por qué decidiste entrenar aquí en Medellín, Colombia.
Oh, si quieres decir algo, bien, sube. Bien, sube. Hay videos, podemos ver el tiempo. ¿Qué quiero decir? Primero que todos, alhamdulillah, gracias a Dios.
We're starting to have some issues. Oh, and he shows his ass. Oh my God. Now he's stunting the other guys.
Gracias a Dios por darme salud. Después, gracias a mi familia. Sin ellos, aquí no es una pelea. Todos están hablando de guerra, de sangre. La verdadera pelea es en MMA Colombia. Todos los días entrenamos duro. Aquí son los verdaderos peleadores. Aquí, esta noche, es un sparring para mí. Es un show. Solamente es un sparring para mí. No hay guerra aquí. La guerra es en la academia.
¿Cómo te ves en el futuro? ¿Cómo te ves de aquí en adelante?
No, yo soy viejo. De aquí adelante me veo... No, yo hago eso solamente para ver mi nivel, para disfrutarlo. Y ya nada más no me veo en la UFC, Bellator. Te dejo para ti.
Muchas gracias a ti y a todos los peleadores que se suben aquí, que todos merecen respeto.
When Peggy, translate for us, what did Alexandre say?
He started telling his opponent's audience to come into the cage if they didn't think the call was okay. He was stunting them a little bit. And then he said that this was a sparring for him. This was just a show. He came just to perform and entertain because the real fights are in MMA Colombia where he trains at.
A continuación. Un combate internacional en esta noche, en nuestro sexto encuentro profesional. En la categoría de los 66 kilogramos, ha sido llamado a Nubia Nascimento.
A mountain of adversity for the battle-tested Nubia Nascimento, the most experienced fighter Vazquez has ever faced. She will need all of her tricks and traps to defeat the Argentinian tonight. Owner of 5 finishes and 8 victories, 4 of which are first-round submissions. Tapology's 75th-ranked Brazilian female mixed martial artist is prepared for battle tonight. Her average fight time is just over 10 minutes. One thing's for sure, Alejandra, the judges will not be needed in our co-main event.
I think this is a very interesting fight because it's between
She went 3-2 that year. Currently, she's 1-1 in 2022.
La esquina roja, Lara Vazquez.
Vazquez, 34 years young, the former Olympic hopeful's MMA debut was in May of 2010. Now here she is, 12 years later, searching to extend her undefeated record to 3-0. Owner of 2 submission victories inside MMA, an armbar debut and a rear naked choke in 2017. Vazquez's experience on the Argentinian national wrestling team has shown in every moment of her combat sports career, notching bronze at the Pan American Championship in 2022. With that medal in the rearview mirror, her focus is firmly on MMA, and she desires a UFC championship before she hangs the gloves up. That goal hinges on a victory here tonight.
Presentando a la esquina roja, damas y caballeros. De Buenos Aires, Argentina, señoras y señores,
Con el apoyo del profesor William Martínez en la esquina roja, le damos la bienvenida. Ella es Luz Clara Vazquez. Ahora presentando la esquina azul de Río de Janeiro, Brasil, damas y caballeros, representando su academia Early Champions. Fuerte el aplauso, ella es Nubia Nascimento.
Argentina versus Brazil in this fight or co-main event of the evening.
Defiendas en todo el tiempo. Si quieren chocar
Once
guantes,
again, the ring girl picking the most opportune time.
Combate de 3 rounds, cada uno de 5 minutos, patrocinado por Burger King.
Yeah, I'm expecting this fight as one of the most higher level fight here in this event.
One of the biggest things that we have to note with Luz Vazquez is she trained in Dagestan ahead of this fight, obviously home to Habib Nurmagomedov and current lightweight champion Islam Makhachev. She brings all of that experience and more here tonight against Nubia Nascimento.
Yes, Luz Vazquez is a reference of big athletes in Argentina, and yeah, she had little experience in MMA, but it's a big athlete.
We see a confident Nubia Costa trying to get control of the center of the cage. Luz with a good low kick.
Several low kicks so far from the Argentinian. Wow, what a combination right there. Luz Vazquez takes it to the mat. Nubia Nascimento in the world of the Argentinian. Here comes the ground and pound from Luz Vazquez.
Very good combination back and forth, but then Luz found the right moment to take Nubia down.
Luz trying to secure a good control.
Nubia Nascimento wearing these shots well, Alejandra, but I mean, this is a bad place to be early in this fight.
There's a lot of pressure coming from Luz in this position.
You don't want to have Luz Vazquez above you. And even with Nubia have a great jiu-jitsu experience, maybe I think she wanted to look for that transition.
Once again, Luz Vazquez, Olympic trials she competed in, didn't make it to the Olympics, but her wrestling is elite, make no mistake. Good
Keeping the
pressure right
pressure
from Luz Vazquez as well. Nubia simply does not have any areas to get back to the feet.
Nubia has to get out of that position if she wants to achieve something. It's not very comfortable to have a wrestler like Luz on a top position like that.
Maybe the physical strength of Luz is a big factor here, because Nubia doesn't have any space, and she's a very experimented jiu-jitsu competitor.
I agree with you, Alejandra. I think the pressure and power of Luz is nullifying Nubia's ability to execute some jiu-jitsu moves. Now she's looking for a mount position, and she got the full mount position.
Awful for Nubia Nascimento. Here goes Luz Vazquez with the ground and pound. Nubia trying to turn in. Good wrist control from the Argentinian. Nubia Nascimento getting absolutely demolished here in this first round.
Classical control from the Dagestanis. This wrist control from the back has been applied to the game of the best fighters coming from that region.
Oh,
she flattens her.
Nubia Nascimento eating some shots.
Vicious shots. Vicious shots.
Nubia turns in. Referee taking a close look, though.
Awful position, but Nubia needs to to move herself or do something to avoid the stop of the fight.
This could be it. Close to being over. Nubia trying to turn. Luz Vazquez picking her shots.
The referee checking.
Oh, rear naked choke. potentially for Luz Vazquez. Nubia controlling that right hand, but Luz working it back. That is deep.
Now she got a body triangle position and secured a good back control. She's squeezing tight. But Nubia fights the position. She's fighting the grips, and she's doing a good job fighting the grip.
Beautiful work by Nubia to isolate that right arm, but she's still very much in danger, Alejandra.
Even when Luz have a good control, it's like Nubia's zone here. Like she knows how to avoid that submission there, and she's trying to go out.
Nubia doing an amazing defense of those squeezing arms. Punching.
Last 10 seconds. Can Nubia Nascimento survive to round number 2?
She doesn't look that. That is cool.
Wow. What a dominant first round from Luz Vazquez. All over Nubia Nascimento. Nearly had her out of there at the end of round number 1.
Yeah, Luz Vazquez showed an amazing performance here. Not just with big punches, but with that clear takedown that we, of course, expect from her.
Born in Villa Gesell, Argentina, the population of that city is 37,366. I feel confident in the assumption that Luz Vazquez is the biggest combat sports product that has been produced in that city. If you're Nubia Nascimento, what are the changes that you need to make to combat the grappling of Luz Vazquez?
I think, as all athletes before, when fighting against a superior grappler, they have to keep a good distance and a good timing for defending the takedown attempts. Whenever Luz gets a hold of both legs or one leg, you're in deep trouble.
Referee Ruben Villa just going for round number 2. Nubia Nascimento, body language not looking all that confident coming into this next set of 5 minutes. Nubia walking Vazquez down, trying to maybe get some striking offense going.
Nubia is trying to get the control of this round, and it's going forward, but hopefully being more careful of those.
Oh! That was a great right hand from Luz. Spinning back
wheel kick from Luz Vazquez.
Wow!
Big right hand. Luz Vazquez swarming Nubia Nascimento. Vazquez punches and punches.
What a fight! What an amazing fight!
The answer of Nubia, she's there responding all the time.
The wherewithal to clinch and bring Luz Vazquez in speaks to the veteran experience that Nubia Nascimento brings into the cage. But I mean, Luz Vazquez, those were thunderous right
These
hands.
women are going to war today. They have been exchanging, grappling. Now Luz is trying to get some punches in, had her a little touched, but Nubia came back, and now they're working on the clinch against the cage.
A couple knees from Nubia Nascimento. Can't imagine they feel good on the midsection, Alejandra.
Yeah, it's amazing the courage you have you need to go there, meaning that problems, and say no. I'm still here, and I want to put you back.
Nubia defending nicely. You can see Luz searching to take it downstairs. Big knee from Nubia Nascimento. Luz Vazquez returns.
Some knees from Nubia. And Luz has to create some opportunities from there if she wants to improve also her position. She's got the control, but Nubia has been getting some knees and fists from that position.
I'm agree because of course Luz controls is amazing, but if she's not active from there, Nubia can take a break.
Big shots right there. Some hammer fists inside from Nubia Nascimento. Luz Vazquez struggling to get the Brazilian down. Nubia Nascimento shakes that knee off.
Another knee.
Luz
keeps the pressure with that body lock.
And Nubia is doing well as well. She's moving her hips to go out, but yeah, Luz is moving with her.
She's keeping a good pace and keeping heavy, her hips heavy.
From Nubia Nascimento. Midway through this second round, she's avoided most of these takedown attempts.
Yeah,
Look at this, though. Referee Ruben Vila sets us back into the center.
And action.
Vazquez and Nubia Nascimento. Big leg kicks.
Nubia
right
going forward again.
Vazquez showing she's not just a wrestler here tonight. Really a full, well-rounded display of mixed martial arts.
She gave great punches, and I think Nubia is respecting her in that way too.
Spinning back fist attempt by Luz.
Big shots on the break by Nubia Nascimento, probably the most effective strikes he's had tonight. Once again, these fights are brought to you by Burger King. Make sure if you need to eat, might as well dine like a king. As we approach the end of round number 2, we got to start talking about the cardio of both athletes. A couple deep breaths from these women as we find the final stretch of round number 2, Alejandra.
That's what I was thinking. The air here, it's more heavy. None of them are from here, so let's see how that can affect them.
For those that are curious, for a comparison, Denver, Colorado is 1 mile above sea level in terms of elevation. Medellin, Colombia is about 50% higher than Denver, Colorado.
But we are higher than Medellin because here it's El Retiro.
Make that 60% higher than Denver, Colorado.
And Luz got the takedown. She's now looking for the mount, working on the ground and pound, and the fight was stopped.
Oh,
I think Nubia got a little injured or something.
Maybe
she's showing a little pain.
There
And
she
Nubia
is,
with the win.
the Argentinian taking the victory tonight.
Hacemos llamado inmediatamente al doctor, por favor.
3-0, and she ends
Doctor,
a
la jaula,
5-year
por favor.
layoff from mixed martial arts. She put it all together tonight. Massive right hands connecting onto the chin of Nubia Nascimento, and you can see Nascimento having some problems over on that side of the cage. We wish her the best right now. Juan Pablo, what did you make of that performance?
I think Luz did an amazing job with her grappling. I'm sad to see Nubia in so much pain right now. I hope she's not badly injured, but I'm glad that Luz got the win. She has been working on fighting, but her career hasn't been very active. She was telling us that she wanted to close a chapter in her life with the wrestling, and now that she switched to professional MMA fighting, she wants to work on her career as well.
This is a woman that can go quite far within professional mixed martial arts. Once again, second at the Pan American Championships in 2015, third in 2022, and a bronze medalist at the games just last year. 100% finishing rate still intact. With that TKO, I believe it will go down as what a breakout moment this has been for Luz Vazquez. I believe Nubia Nascimento suffered something to the shoulder. I saw some officials indicating that it was a shoulder injury. They are bringing the medical staff in to the cage. We can only hope for the best for Brazil's Nubia Nascimento.
That was definitely a nasty takedown by Luz Vazquez. Nubia
La ganadora en este evento
landed in
estelar, Empire 3, en el segundo round, 4 minutos 57 segundos, esquina roja, fuerte el aplauso. Ella es Luz Vazquez.
Very complete martial artist. She's not just a wrestler. She displayed some great striking
Hola, Luz,
skills as
esta fue
well.
una de las
So
peleas más
let's see what she
esperadas
has
de
to
esta
say.
noche.
Alejandra Lara with
Regresa a
her.
las MMA. ¿Cuánto tiempo llevas sin pelear y qué se siente estar de regreso?
Es increíble. Yo, mi primer pelea de MMA la hice acá en Colombia, en Cali. Yo viví 2 años en Cali, así que yo a Colombia le tengo un aprecio gigante, tengo parte de él en mi corazón. Así que para mí volver acá es mucho y volver después de 5 años sin pelear es un montón. Y hace 1 año me retiré de la lucha libre y también hace 1 año que no compito, más de 1 año. Es muy lindo.
¿A quién agradeces esta victoria y qué sigue para ti?
Mira, agradecerle a Nubia que vino hasta acá. También, al igual que yo, venimos de más al sur y que haya peleado. Siempre hay que respetar a los oponentes, así que gracias, Nubia. Y, mira, en mi vida yo pasé por muchos deportes y muchos entrenadores y mucha gente. Agradecerles no puedo llegar, no llego. Pero a todo el mundo que siempre me colaboró y que siempre estuvo conmigo el día 1, obviamente a mi familia. Y a todo el mundo que hizo parte de ese pequeño grano de arena para que yo esté acá.
Muchas gracias y que vengan más victorias para ti.
Luis Vazquez, still undefeated, still a 100% finishing rate. You can see her corner tonight was Philadelphia's William Wolk and Will Martinez. You simply can't draw it up better than that for the Argentinian Luis Vazquez. Excellent performance. She was wanting to make some big statements here tonight. I believe she has. And now it is time for Empire MMA III, the main event of the evening.
Llegamos al evento estelar de la noche. En la categoría de los 61 kilogramos. Hacemos llamado a Julio Davila.
You can see the tail of the tape. 12 wins, 6 defeats for Julio Davila. 9-2 for John Tacha Rodriguez. Julio Davila, 5 first-round finishes, 4 second-round finishes. I mean, this guy knows how to stop a fight.
Yes, definitely. Julio Davila, it's an Ecuadorian fighter with a lot of experience, and he's coming here to say, hey, I am one of the best in my country, and I'm ready for any challenge here.
And the record, 12-6, is quite misleading. In the last 3 years, he has gone 7-1. That's a quite outstanding track record for a grand total of 36 months of competition.
Yes, of course. I'm expecting a lot from this fight. Welcoming Julio and thanking him for being here tonight.
Representing Ecuador in Empire MMA's main event of the evening, Julio Davila searches for back-to-back wins following a massive knockout in August. Davila is 4-1 in 2022, the most active and most successful year of his career. Owner of 9 finishes and 12 victories. Again, 5 of those have concluded inside the first 5 minutes. The Ecuadorian has tasted the highs of MMA and felt the lows throughout his 10-year time in the cage. The top 20 mixed martial artist in Latin America is determined to bat away his fiercest foe yet in John Tacha Rodriguez.
We are ready for our main event. We can see Julio Davila entering the cage.
I don't know that much about martial arts in Ecuador, but I think we all, as Latino American countries, share the same struggle or the same things in the beginning. And these fighters are representing that of each country because obviously Julio Davila is fighting like a lot of years ago and he's one of the pioneers in his country. And yeah, I think it's a really great match.
Those are facts.
Inmediatamente hacemos un llamado
Ecuador
a su
has a very
oponente,
big and growing MMA scene as well. They had jiu-jitsu with Soluso since a long time ago, so they have started to create like a bigger jiu-jitsu and MMA scene. But Ecuador and Colombia for sure are brother nations that share some very similar dynamics in terms of social, economical, and other matters.
Of course, Ecuador's produced the UFC's top-ranked bantamweight Marlon Chito Vera and Michael Morales. Julio Davila, again, 7-1 in the last 8. If he keeps that win streak up, he might join them very soon.
la bienvenida a John Tacha, la jaula de Empire III.
Here he is, currently one of Colombia's hottest MMA commodities. John Tacha aims to find his 10th professional victory here in Empire MMA III's main event. 6 finishes so far, 5 of which are first-round KOs. The Fredy Serrano trained athlete recently became the national wrestling champion in the country and has been training MMA for 7 years in total. A portion of his training camp ahead of this fight was in Brazil with the likes of Renan Morel. And while there, the trainers expressed that John Tacha was better than some of their UFC fighters. A shining star in the sea of Bogota fighters. Here is John Tacha Rodriguez.
Well, I had the opportunity to meet John Tacha this year. We shared this training camp in Brazil, and he started his MMA career almost by accident, but he discovered his path, and yeah, I can tell he have a great level, and he have a lot to demonstrate in this fight.
Expectations are high for the Bogota-born and bred bantamweight. John Tacha is believed by many to be the leader of this new wave of mixed martial arts here in Colombia. The proving ground is right here, right now, in MMA Empire.
Burger King es el patrocinador oficial de Empire III en este evento estelar de la noche, damas y caballeros. Nuestro último evento para cerrar esta noche de combates y lo mejor de la cultura MMA. Presentando la esquina azul. Desde Ecuador, con un récord de 12 peleas ganadas, 6 perdidas. Del club Equipo Serrano, damas y caballeros. Fuerte el aplauso es Julio Davila. Ahora presentando a la esquina roja, sale a pelear su oponente. Desde la ciudad de Bogotá, con un récord de 9 peleas ganadas, 2 perdidas. Él es, damas y caballeros, en la esquina roja, Tacha. Invitaciones.
Jorge Rojas,
Señores, quiero un combate limpio. Por favor,
as the referee of the main event of the evening. We see the athletes touching gloves, and we're ready for action.
Final fight of the evening. Main event vibes for John Tacha versus Julio Davila. Jorge Rojas, once again, third man inside the octagon. John Tacha in the black shorts. Julio Davila in the gray shorts. Both gentlemen have orange gloves. Once again, by Legion MMA.
I have to say that John Tacha trains with Fredy Serrano. He have a wrestling base, and he was working in all the details to improve his striking and be a more complete fighter now.
Big right hand landed moments ago for Julio Davila. He's commanding the center of the octagon. John Tacha potentially might shoot soon, Becky.
We see Davila comfortable with his kicks, trying to get and keep Tacha away from him. We know Tacha is a good wrestler. And there he goes. He went straight for the takedown, and he got the single leg. Davila working to get up. Whoa! That was a beautiful scramble. Beautiful scramble.
Some acrobatics shown right there by Julio Davila. John Tacha, though, firmly in the driver's seat.
Very good control right there.
Julio Davila does regain full guard against the 26-year-old John Tacha.
Tacha working on passing the legs while Davila is going for the neck, but Tacha gets the takedown, try to keep him down.
Julio Davila using the cage wisely to try and get up, but the control of John Tacha is negating any effort. Beautiful shots right here from John Tacha.
These fighters are what we were expecting of a main event. More experimented, more calm, administrating the energy, but going with very good technique. And yeah.
Beautiful defenses, beautiful attempts. Look at that. Tacha went for the takedown. Davila reversed it, got some very good knees, and now he's getting control of the cage. Very good display of technique by both fighters.
Swing of momentum here in round number one. Now Julio Davila with his left arm controlling John Tacha.
Davila working on a takedown now.
Julio Davila has the body lock, but he's unable to get John Tacha to the canvas.
Tacha doing the good work. Keeping, that was a beautiful throw. Beautiful throw by Tacha. Now on side control, working to isolate the arm and the head. Working on the crucifix position.
Julio Davila, what an error it could have been to try and take down John Tacha.
Yeah, it looks like John Tacha feels comfortable in that position, in that 50-50 in body lock, and yeah, it has everything to control. Julio.
Both hooks are in. Seems like both hooks are in. And now Tacha looking to finish the fight from the back control.
John Tacha riding a little high on that back, but still dominant here in this position. Pounding away with that left hand. Julio Davila searching for options.
He is not the lover of jiu-jitsu.
He got a good grip, and he's looking for the rear naked choke. Let's see if it works. We don't have a very good angle. Oh, Davila seems like he got out.
Yeah, as I say, Tacha always thought that wrestling was more effective than jiu-jitsu, but then realizes that it's very important too, and it could be a way to finish this fight too.
Julio Davila in a world of trouble here. John Tacha adjusting the position, still maintaining control though. Julio Davila back to his feet, but for how long? John Tacha
shoots again.
Excellent. Sucks the hips out, brings Davila down to the mat.
He's got a good control. He's going to end up these rounds. Seems like he's going to end it up on top.
Julio Davila makes it to round number 2, but a lot of adversity for the Ecuadorian through the 5 minutes. Couple submission attempts that he was able to
Amazing
evade.
round for Tacha. He seems to be calm. He doesn't seem tired. Same as the Ecuadorian. Let's see what happens in the second round.
I love that we have just a plastic chair for Julio Davila. in between rounds.
Yes, one thing here is that Tacha is from Bogota, and that's even higher than we are here. So cardio is with him, and then we are looking at technique. It's also there.
Julio Davila's corner urging him to throw more hooks, those looping strikes potentially, as Tacha attempts to enter.
Tacha showing what Team Fredy Serrano does best, the wrestling base. They have a very good wrestling base. So now we see John and Davila ready for the second round.
Referee Jorge Rojas gets us going for round number 2 of Empire MMA 3's main event. Tacha versus Davila. Our second set of 5 minutes is upon us. Good touch gloves. A lot of patience early here in round number 2. Big overhand right there from Tacha.
Of course, Julio Davila is respecting Tacha, and he wants to go smart.
He keeps it safe. He doesn't want to make a mistake. A mistake against a skilled athlete is going to end up real bad.
Oh.
So they're trying to keep it safe and work.
And Tacha should keep awake.
Once again, Julio Davila.
Beautiful front kick.
Right there from Tacha. Davila, Tapology's number 16 ranked bantamweight and number 18 ranked featherweight in Latin America. Highly touted. Tacha drives into the canvas.
Amazing double leg takedown again. Tacha with another takedown for his record, and now trying to secure his opponent's legs. He's standing up, getting his hips high. And Davila is trying to frame on Tacha's head with his shoulder.
Julio Davila absolutely cloistered against the cage. Tacha progressing forward.
With
hooks are in.
both hooks in, flatten him, looking for a rear naked choke.
Even when he's capitalizing the positions, he is understanding maybe too that he had to work more his jiu-jitsu to finish this kind of positions.
Tacha operating right in front of Julio Davila's corner. The Ecuadorian has his team directly to the left. We'll see if it helps him.
Tacha with a good control of the right hand, working to pass his punishing with some shots, looking for the rear naked choke again. But he hasn't been able to secure a submission from the back control. I agree with Alejandra. He has to work on his submission efficiency. He's not very dangerous when he gets to those positions. And those are positions where you are very comfortable.
Tacha's lone submission is a rear naked choke in the second round. Seems like history might repeat itself, Alejandra.
Yes, now he is trying to punish more. And yes, it's what he needs to get Julio unable to respond and get at least a TKO.
Davila once again attempts to get back to the feet, trying to reverse the position, but Tacha's control is too strong.
Amazing pressure by Tacha. You can see the discomfort on Davila's face. Now he got his head out again, and he's looking for the back one more time.
Expert wrist control right there from Tacha. He is just manhandling that right arm of Julio Davila. Davila eating some shots, but avoiding a lot of the damage, Alejandra.
Yeah, it's covering very well. He didn't get punches significance here. So we know Tacha have the control, but need to end.
Tacha with a very good ground and pound control from that position. Some knees to the body.
Doubling up on that wrist control now once again, regaining it. Davila just can't get out of this position.
I agree, but he hasn't been a real threat to Davila's humanity. Davila is still keeping up. The punches are not creating a lot of damage, but let's see how Davila keeps on working. Oh, that was a vicious knee.
Very good knee.
Bone-crunching knee to the midsection. You can see veteran referee Jorge Rojas really examining the action here tonight. Julio Davila unable to defend himself here. Can he make it to the third round? He's trying to move. Davila bursts out momentarily, survives to the third round.
And the bell saves him. He's going to the third round. The first 2 rounds, I'll for sure give them to John Tacha. Let's see what Victor Davila has to do in this third round. The superiority on the ground by John Tacha is very noticeable. Let's see how Victor Davila ends up this third round against the skilled John Tacha that looks very fresh and collected.
Unbelievably impressive, the control he's displayed through 10 minutes. Julio Davila is active from the bottom. He's not accepting these positions. He just simply can't evade and get out of them. Alejandra, if you're Julio Davila, how do you get back into this fight 2 rounds in?
Well, I think it's the moment to give all what he had, because it's very frustrating to cannot escape from that control. And Tacha is fresh, as you say. I think that he have to be smart and work with his striking.
Julio Davila has only been submitted on one other occasion. John Tacha seemingly aiming to be the second man to finish him via that method. Tacha coming out aggressive for round 3.
Great footwork. And then
another double leg takedown. Beautiful.
Julio just took Tacha Airlines.
A lot of shoulder pressure here from John Tacha. He's trying to slide that right leg out. Alejandra, bad news for Julio early in round 3.
It's almost as we saw in the William Wolk's fight. It's so good control you have that you know that is the path. And Tacha knows that.
Tacha punishing Davila with those knees, while Davila tries to survive in very, very deep and dark waters.
Julio Davila needs to address the wrist control on that right side. If he can't break that grip, he can't escape.
I can say also Tacha is very aware. He was like in a position where he could make a fall, but he decided to stop, to do the things well. I thinking that is happening.
He's fighting smartly. He knows that a bad knee to the back of the body might cost him a point. So he's very cautious with those knees, but still he's working on creating damage, controlling. Amazing display of skills by John Tacha, and also a very, very tough Davila, resisting those punches, resisting that pressure.
One interesting thing about John Tacha, he started MMA almost by accident. His brother was slated for a bout and couldn't make it, so John stepped in and won.
Yeah, he told me that story.
Oh my God, that's some fun fact right there.
Body lock is almost in for John Tacha.
Got the body triangle, and now he's working on those punches.
Julio Davila in a world of trouble. John Tacha letting loose with the ground.
And we gotta stop it.
Referee Jorge Rojas calls a stop to it. John Tacha finds his 10th victory in MMA here tonight.
TKO for John Tacha. The main event of the night was won by John Tacha. Now showing respect to Davila, his opponent. We've got a very, very nice fight. Some very, very good skill sets. And now they are going to celebrate and announce the winner. Fredy Serrano taking down Davila.
3-0 this year for John Tacha. The TKO in February, the unanimous decision in July, and now another TKO.
Sí, señores y señoras,
Amazing performance.
en este último encuentro en el combate estelar de la noche. En el tercer round, segundo minuto, 18 segundos. Damas y caballeros, ahora sí, del Club Equipo Serrano, esquina roja, fuerte el aplauso, Tacha.
Felicidades por tu victoria. Hola, hola. 1, 2. ¡Ey! El micrófono no suena. Hola. ¿Aló? Bueno, John, felicidades por tu victoria esta noche. Yo personalmente puedo decir que he visto lo duro que has trabajado para esta pelea. No creo que sea un accidente que estés aquí ahora. ¿A quién quieres dedicar esta pelea?
Bueno, esta pelea se la quiero dedicar a mi novia. Algunos saben, pero todos no. Ella es luchadora. También sabe que son hacer sacrificios para el deporte. Entonces es alguien que comparte mucho este sueño conmigo. Se lo voy a dedicar a ellos y para toda la persona que vino a ver este evento.
Los que hemos estado en esta jaula sabemos que llegar aquí no es nada fácil. ¿Qué ha sido lo más difícil de este proceso para estar aquí hoy?
Bueno, son muchas dificultades. Algunos no saben, pero hace 3 meses me partí la mano izquierda peleando, entonces la recuperación fue un poco molesta. Las lesiones para todo deportista es un poco complejo, pero no, muy contento y a seguir ganando.
¿Qué te deja en este momento esta victoria? ¿Qué sientes y qué quieres agregar?
Bueno, primero que todo es una victoria muy significa mucho para mí. Peleé contra un muchacho que tenía muy bien en el ranking Latinoamérica. Entonces, bueno, voy escalando de la mano de Héctor Castro, de mi entrenador Fredy Serrano, de mis compañeros Team Tacha y Club Equipo Serrano.
Muchas gracias a ti, esperamos saber más de ti en el futuro. Muchas gracias a todos por acompañarnos.
What an impeccable night of fights this was. Empire MMA 3, live from Medellin, Colombia. Here to recap the highlights, it's my broadcast partners, Colombian mixed martial artist Juan Unpegui, and the number 10 Bellator flyweight, Alejandra Lara. Now, let's start at the bottom. Salomon Tavares over Hans Victor Toro. That was an amazing victory by Salomon against the number 4 wrestler in the world at 132 pounds.
Señoras y señores,
he definitely could handle a very good wrestler. He canceled the wrestling attempts by Hans. It's very good striking and was able to hold the victory where Hans was almost knocked out, but he had a very good display of courage and fight as well.
100%. Lone American on tonight's card. Submitting to Jeisson came in here. 100% finishing rate across his pro and amateur career. Lethal opponent. William dealt with him well.
Well, that is interesting of this event because we are looking where is the level in Colombia and around the world because we are proving one experimental guy, but yeah, he definitely learned what he had to work on to the next fight.
Now, talking about our co-main event of the evening, Luz Vazquez has not competed since October of 2017, but she came in here and looked like she just fought yesterday, as fresh as possible, no ring rust on the Argentinian, and perfect performance in terms of control, dominance, ground and pound, and finding that TKO stoppage in round number 2.
She showed everyone she's more than a wrestler. She's a very complete mixed martial artist, and she was able to win in a fantastic and spectacular way against a tough Brazilian opponent that came and showed hard as well. It was a very good display of skill sets from Luz Clara Vazquez from Argentina.
Can't wait to see what Luz does next. 3-0 inside mixed martial arts. She said she wants to compete soon, stay active. I can't wait to see her back in the octagon. And finally, our main event of the evening. John Tacha TKOs Julio Davila in round number 3. John Tacha has only been to the third round 4 times now, and 10-2 within mixed martial arts. You can't draw it up better than that tonight. Alejandra, what do you think John Tacha does next?
John Tacha definitely demonstrates today why he's one of the top prospects of this country right now, and we are looking forward for him and for a lot of the fighters that we saw today in this amazing event, Empire III, here in Medellin, Colombia.
From all of us here at Empire Mixed Martial Arts, we thank you for tuning in. Can't wait to see you soon for Empire MMA 4.